of life and to console each other.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. Later, you know what it is. Hey, Ham Solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's time how we do. Hey. They said, we said we lit. They said, we said we on. They said, we said strong. They said, we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said, we said we in. They said, we said on. They said, we said strong. They said, we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Got you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go.
What the hell?
And salutations. I'm trying something different. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 12th episode of Everything Plus Gaming on TSWS Gaming. I'm Loke7, your host as usual, and my co-host, Mr. Ham Solo. Ham, how you doing?
You made me sound like a side bitch right there. I don't like it.
The co-host?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing all right. I'm just kicking it.
Someone's playing too much Starfield. I think that's what it's about. But we'll get into it. We will get into that after. Peace, love, life. Welcome in the legendary Yobi himself. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Ham, what are you playing? What have you been playing these past few days since Friday?
Well, the past few days, played a little Cyberpunk, a little bit more Stalker. 2K, still terrible. It's ridiculous.
Won't stop playing it though.
It's not fun anymore. It's getting to that point. But let's see. That's kind of, for the most part, kind of been it. If you're just talking about just this weekend, since we had a show this last Friday, that's kind of all I've been messing with.
All right. I played some Football Manager. And what else? Oh, Grid Legends. I'm playing a lot of Grid Legends. That game is it's very good. It's very good. That's what I'll say. Especially with the story campaign-ish. Like, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a step forward for the franchise. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it. In future releases. Hopefully they don't abandon it, because it looks interesting. It looks fun. Ham, let's get into this. Let's just do it. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid and get into the meat and potatoes. It's Everything Plus Gaming, but we have to admit there's been a lot of gaming recently. It's just the truth. Like, gaming has been all over the place, and we're not going to pretend like it hasn't been awesome. John Wolf says, "Hello, gentlemen. Hope you're both well. Welcome, John Wolf. Where's the cowboy hat? I'm retiring it for a bit because winter's almost over in Mozambique, so I'm retiring the hair. I will be shaving this all off and going back to the classic Loke7 look that some people even thought I was bald. So I will be shaving it off. So I'm trying to show off whatever is there for now, because it's going to be gone in a couple of days, maybe in a week. So yeah. My brother in Kojima, welcome, says MG. I can't say those 3 letters together, Mr. Joanna Dark. You know I can't
No,
say
you
that.
can't.
People are paying. People are paying, so I don't talk about that franchise, Mr. Joanna Dark. Is it looking good? Nice. Only beautiful people here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't lie to Loke.
Look at I try. I do try, no doubt. And yes, I include myself. Yes, Raichi. Yes, even with your alien look, it's still beautiful, no doubt. You look sophisticated as always. Thank you, Yobi. Thank you. I do try. Again, Mr. Joanna Dark, I cannot speak. People are paying. People are literally paying. Apparently, for every week that I don't utter those words, $5 is getting thrown into the TSWS pot. And you guys know I need the money to get my green card so I can officially live in Texas. So I can't say it, Mr. Joanna Dark. I'm sorry. I can't. Hazardor Gaming, welcome, Hazardor. Been a minute. Hazardor. You should put it in one of your reports that on TSWS people are paying super chats, so I don't mention my favorite franchise.
Yeah, I don't
ever.
think he cares about that.
It's big news. It's big news.
It's definitely not.
Greatest. It is the greatest video game franchise on the planet. So yeah, it's big news that people are being paid not to speak about it. It's something.
Not news. Don't do that.
It's breaking news. That's what it is.
Don't waste tweet on that shit.
I was saying, you know what? We might even end up having more people being like, "Oh, okay, so I'm gonna throw in my 5 as well." I don't want to see this guy talk about that again as well. So maybe I'll just keep it quiet. Let me leave it alone. All right.
What's cracking today? What are we talking about?
We're talking about we're talking about a game that personally, right? And you might think I'm exaggerating him. Remember I said this right when it came out, and I still believe it, even after all the vitriol and whatever. This is going to be one of the games of the generation.
I mean, I love the game, so I feel like I'm not the right person to ask. I'm just gonna agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the games that, like, when we're done with the PS5 and with the Series X, this is definitely going to be right up there with like the stellar titles of the entire generation. People can hate on it all they want, but it is what it is.
MJ Dark with a member for 13 months saying Metal Gear is the best franchise ever created. And then right under that, he says, I use my paid membership to say it. And I said it for you, Luke, so you didn't have to.
Thank you, Ham. Thank you.
I don't agree with that.
We need those buckaroos. You said what, Ham?
So I don't agree with that. But okay.
You know what? This might actually turn out to be something that comes in my favor. Because now all the stands of the greatest video game franchise are going to start popping up, and you are going to have to say the super chat, Sam. That's going to hurt you more, right? That's going to hurt you more than when I said it, because now you have to say it.
You want it to hurt. It don't hurt.
I love it. Oh, it doesn't hurt, Mr. Joanna Dark. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
Oh,
read
man.
That super chat, Ham. Read it.
Go ahead. My goodness. Okay, so he says, here is $5 so you can say Metal Gear Solid Delta looks dope. And I hope we get MGS4 in the MGS in the MSG collection. I think you meant MGS.
Yeah, you meant
Gojima, we trust. People need to stop hating. This is bullshit.
Amen.
Shut the fuck up, Mr. Joanna Dark. You ain't helping nobody.
Someone clip Ham saying all of that written gospel,
Who you
the
helping?
gospel of Kojima, Ham. Well done. I'm so proud of you, Ham.
Bullshit.
Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. You're the best. I still haven't played Starfield. It would be nice if Bethesda dropped the code for the amount of time I tweeted about this title. Almost 100 tweets. Yeah.
Do you not have Game Pass, Hasbro? What's going on here? What's going on here now?
Maybe he doesn't have an Xbox.
Maybe. But still, even if he had a PC, I'm wondering what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, because there's PC Game Pass as well.
Exactly. What you doing?
I don't know. In Kojima, we trust to make long cutscenes. John Wolf, you think you got jokes? You think you got jokes? This guy is trying to be a comedian. All right. It wasn't bad. All right, Ham. Let's watch this trailer one more time. So wait. Hold on. Before we get in, you actually think? Oh, damn, Mr. Ham Solo, the super chats. This is the attack of the super chats. Please read that out, sir.
Ah, man, fuck you, Dark. You ain't shit. He says, "Put my money where my mouth is." MGS is the worst. I mean, the best. My bad. My bad.
Ham. It's a $2 super chat and it's super short. I think it's worth reading again. Please.
No, I don't. I don't think it is.
You didn't read it properly.
I did read it properly. I did read it properly.
You didn't.
I had an error, but I cleared it up. I had an error, and you acknowledged
the
it.
Only way that
I cleared up that error, bud.
The only way to respect people's hard-earned money that they throw at us on this channel is to read the entire
I put some respect
from
on it.
start
I did.
to finish properly. You don't correct it in sections, dude. Read the whole thing. Come on, we're waiting on you, bro.
I absolutely will not.
Well, it's fine. The DLC for Starfield is too expensive. It should be $20. How much is the DLC for Starfield, Ham?
I think it's like I don't remember. I bought it when the game dropped, so I think it's $20. Might be 30.
Okay, so
I don't remember.
It might be more because Richie is saying it should be 20. Hazard doesn't have Game Pass. Shocker. I know. I buy games on Xbox. Okay, that's fair enough. I clearly we use Game Pass differently because, as I was explaining last week, I think I use Game Pass as like a sample machine, right? So I'll sample a game, and then I'll know that all right, so this is a banger, and then I'll go buy it. You know, usually on PC, if I'm being honest, because then I own it. You know, but before I was on PC, I used to use it to sample, and one of the biggest samples that I did was Yakuza 0. Yakuza is one of those
trying to make no friends today. I see that.
No, he's making lots of friends, just not out of you. So with Yakuza, it's one of the franchises that I hadn't given a chance. If I'm being honest, I had not given it a chance. It's existed since like 2012 or something, and I was just like, whatever, I'll play it one day. Yakuza 0 hopped on Game Pass. I gave it a go, and then I immediately I fell in love with it. And then obviously they gave us the option to buy the entire bundle on Xbox. This is before I moved to PC, and I was like, hell yeah! I bought the whole thing. Now obviously I have to rebuy the whole Yakuza franchise on PC, but yeah, I use it more like a sampler. That's what I do. Cheers, Mr. Jonah Dark. You're the MVP. You are the MVP. Okay, it's $40 Canadian, Ham. Stop shaking your head. Also, Ham, please make sure to read this super chat from start to finish properly. All right, don't be correcting it midway. Let's go. You can do it.
Hi, I am Ham Solo. You're a piece of shit. And Metal Gear Solid is amazing. How about that? Was that pretty good?
Wow, Ham.
Well, you said
Ham,
wow.
The lack of integrity. The lack of integrity coming from, like, I am disappointed. I am heartbroken right now. I expected so much of you. I
Well,
really
you got
did.
it.
Like,
You got
I
what you
thought
should have expected.
I thought you were above all of this, Ham.
I
Come
thought
on,
you
I thought you
I
were a
thought you were
professional.
a nice guy.
I thought you were professional, bro.
I thought you were nice.
I saw you being sneaky with that. He's like, "Hi, I'm Ham Solo." Then the motherfucker pauses for 30 seconds. Like, zero integrity.
It
Like,
is what
in the
it
negatives.
is, right?
The integrity is in the negatives. That's how bad it is. But it's fine.
It is what I said it. I said everything. I
Oh
said
my God,
everything.
There was no comma. There was no dot. You
I'm
were
sorry.
so bad.
I stubbed my toe and I had to
Look at
get
that.
that out my system in the
Look
midst.
at that, ladies and gentlemen. What a sad sight to see. All right.
It
All right.
is
Mr. Jonah
stub your
said
toe.
Mr. Jonah Duck is a pig for Kojima. A game like Starfield is a must own, no doubt. No doubt. I would say Starfield, I know people don't like hearing it, but this is what I think. I think Starfield's on the same level, or will be on the same level as Skyrim.
That's quite the statement.
Yep. I don't think it's a leap, even in space.
I don't not like that statement because I personally like Starfield better than Skyrim. So,
and then you look at the fact that it's showing us that it's got legs. For all the crap people are talking about it, people are still playing this game.
I do like that they have shouts in Skyrim and shit though. That I think that's pretty cool. The whole shout thing.
What's that? I don't know what that is. Dude,
Like the powers that you get from like shouts and stuff like that. Like you'll do a shout and like some like it'll push them back, or it'll have like a different move that comes with it. It's just like
are those the abilities?
A particular move that has different. It's like its own separate gun, kind of essentially.
Okay.
Except it comes out of you shouting instead of a actual gun.
Oh, John Wolf, enjoy, my brother. Enjoy. What a game. And that's just the beginning. It's peak gaming for sure. Thai Football Manager 25 by Sega is coming day one to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on the 26th of November. All hell Game Pass, giver of games. You know what? Fuck Game Pass. Specifically, PC Game Pass. Because PC Game Pass does not support the South African region. So, yeah, there's that. But you know what?
Now,
what?
So you're missing out unless you play on console like a real man.
No, actually, on console you're limited. If you want to play Football Manager, you do it on PC. And I've seen some videos that have proven that even if you want to play like Baldur's Gate or whatever, if you want it properly, you do it on PC. So anyway, Ty,
does it not have mouse and keyboard support on Xbox?
No, the whole UI is dumbed down on console. Like it's super simplified and everything. Wow, here we are, Football Manager 2025. Ty, I didn't know when it was releasing. I didn't see the announcement. So yeah, obviously I have to pre-order this motherfucker. Straight up. Appreciate you, Ty. Thank you. I am Ham Shepherd, and I can't say that word. Is the best game on the Citadel. Raichi, the only way he will say that is if it's a super chat. Otherwise, Ham's gonna run
I
from that.
I don't even know what you're saying right now. That sounds crazy.
See. All right. Anyways,
Those are
let's
some wild words you put together right there, sir.
let's watch the trailer, Ham. You think we can play with audio?
I don't know. If there's music, no.
It's probably going to have music.
We'll play it.
In the beginning, the great serpent wrapped its tail around the whole universe. He watched over our families, guided us through tough times, and said one day he'd send a promised one to answer our prayers. To give us all the worlds of the settled systems. It's just a matter of time.
Fuck, man. I'm feeling so much FOMO, dude. It's so much FOMO. Look at those guys.
You're really here. I have reached out so many times to hear nothing but echoes. Do you truly serve his will?
In the end, all will serve the great serpent.
So let me tell you something that might be really helpful for
What?
those of you watching this right now. And if you're into Starfield, Shattered, and you're trying to get into Shattered Space, this is definite knowledge you need to know. Once, because when you try to turn on the update, it's gonna when you try to turn on the game, it's gonna automatically want to update. Okay, that's
Yep.
normal, right?
Yes.
But when you turn on the game, the update won't be onto the game, which is nuts. So something that you got to do is after you install the update, you're going to have to go back into manage game and manage game and add-ons. And you're going to have to select it and hit save. I'm sure it's a bug that wasn't supposed to happen.
I'm supposed to manage add-ons and then
then go down to Shattered Space. You know, it should be Starfield and then whatever. Like if you have like the thing that you get when you first buy. Like, let me go. Here, let me actually do this. I'll try to put it up on my screen here in a second.
All right. A bunch of heretics.
Hold it down for like 30 seconds because I'm gonna need a moment to do this.
All right. A bunch of heretics who left the light of the Emperor. Yeah, Richie. That's what they are. And that's why I'm going to show up with my bazooka and shoot everyone. That's what I'm going to do. Like, everyone dies. Do you worship a serpent? All right.
I do.
Right. You're dead.
My person worships a serpent. He does.
Oh my lord! Is it because of what's her face? Your girlfriend?
No, I actually started the game when I first played it. As
you chose to be a worshiper of the serpent.
That's right, I sure did.
Heretics. We shall all worship the ever living emperor. That's the only thing that we do, Ham. We only worship the emperor.
Oh, there we go. So,
my God, your wallpaper is Hellblade?
Yeah.
Christ.
Anyways, so you know this. How to access the screen, right?
What?
You ain't fucking paying no goddamn it.
I'm sorry, I'm still stressed out about your fucking wallpaper being Hellblade.
You get tricked. Anyways,
your mic cut out. Your mic cut out. Sorry. Okay, I see that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Am.
This.
Yeah, I know how to access the screen. Yeah.
Go to manage app.
Okay.
Tap manage install wherever you have it on there. But I had to click on here and click this on.
So it wasn't selected.
It down. I had to click on this, and then I had to go down there to save the changes to even get into the DLC. Then supposedly your game, I'll give. I'm probably gonna have to start, but I figured that out just a little bit.
Yeah. That's a nice DLC, Raichi. Ham, I don't know if it's because of what you're doing with your screen, but you keep cutting out every few seconds. I'm hoping that's not I hope it's just me. Hello? That's weird.
Working fine now?
Yes.
Yeah, it must have been doing that while I was trying to do that shit. That's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's something for us to figure out.
Is it screwing up now again?
No, it's perfect, dude.
It's weird because I still have the screen. I still have the thing up, but whatever.
What the hell,
yeah.
Richie?
Yeah, that's something you'll want to know.
Must be StreamYard. Yes, and Texan internet is superior. Actually, everything Texan is superior. If we're being super honest. All right, so that was the trailer for Starfield Shattered Space. Ham, have you started playing Shattered Space? Ham, are you there? The mic's still.
I was saying I was getting it started because I had to do that first.
Oh, so you're starting now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just now we're going to look at an article that kind of breaks down everything added since the launch trailer. It's actually a nice little video provided to us by IGN, obviously. Ham, if you'd like to pause or would like me to stop anything at any point, sorry, just say it's something. It's about a 5-minute video.
Something.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Ever since Starfield launched in September of last year, Bethesda has been steadily updating its giant space adventure. With the new expansion Shattered Space approaching, we wanted to go over everything they've added since launch. While pretty much every patch comes with its own round of quest fixes to go over updating its giant space adventure.
Ham, you didn't tell me the robot hops into the car with you. You didn't tell me
Yeah.
that.
Well, that has nothing to do with Shattered Space. It's just the Rev 8.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me that this happens. This is very nice.
Why is that my problem?
I'm just saying it's a very nice addition. It would be nice to know that this. So is it just the robot that hops on, or all your companions do that?
No, all the companions hop on, and guess what?
What?
They also hop off.
That's nice. That's nice.
With a new expansion, Shattered Space.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just figured you wanted to know that since you felt like I kept that part of the information. I wanted you to know that they do get out the vehicle as well. And your vehicle has a gun on it.
Yeah, you did mention the gun. You mentioned the gun, and you mentioned the propulsion system that turns the vehicle on certain planets into like a hovercraft. All right, everyone else is enjoying your little joke there, Ham. You should consider a career in stand-up.
Space approaching, we wanted to go over everything they've added since launch. While pretty much every patch comes with its own round of quest fixes, bug fixes, and stability improvements, we're just going to go over the major changes Bethesda has brought to Starfield. Since I'll be skipping over a lot of the small changes, feel free to check out Bethesda's newsfeed on their website, where they fully break down what each patch brings to Starfield. All throughout the month of September 2023 after Starfield launched came multiple rounds of hotfixes and bug fixes. The first real substantial change came with the addition of FOV sliders in early October with patch 1.7.36. And while FOV sliders are so standard they're often seen as mandatory on PCs, this change came to consoles as well. The next
FOV has to do with like ultra-wide screens, right?
No.
What is
field
it?
of view. FOV, field of view.
Okay.
So do you want to be closer to your guy or do you want to be further from your guy?
Oh. All right.
FOV.
All right. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
IGN, after all these additions, we are raising our score to 7.5.
This big update came with an opt-in Steam beta in early November and added DLSS features
Well,
I just said bullshit.
for PCs with NVIDIA cards, giving players much more flexibility in graphics and performance options. Another small but great quality of life change was the ability to eat items you found in the environment without having to go into the inventory menu. These beta changes went live for everyone on appropriate platforms around 2 weeks later on November 20th. At the end of January of this year, we saw a huge round of bug fixes, lighting improvements, and even improved widescreen support, allowing for 32:9, 21:9, and 16:10 resolutions. A week later, on February 7th, FSR 3 options were added for those with AMD graphics cards. The final update before the Giant May patch came in March, and brought additional options to photo mode, such as new expressions and poses for the player character and companions. It also
that's updates.
Yeah, they're talking about stuff that's been out for a little bit. Maybe fast forward another 30 seconds.
All right.
Go ahead and start it. Yeah.
overall recovery and survival, with XP modifiers to match your changes. New options and interfaces for customizing your ship were also added, making interior decorating closer to outpost management, a real boon for all the life sim sickos out in space.
Listen, this is nice. This is nice. Being able to actually customize the inside of your ship. That's a nice touch.
That's old news. Yep.
Jeez, Ham.
You could also now fully change your appearance and, more importantly, your traits when entering New Game Plus. Toggle a new third-person dialogue camera, and better organize your inventory with tabs. For console players, they finally got the new display options they were asking for. A new frame rate target option, the ability to prioritize visuals or performance, And even new VSync options were all added to Xbox Series X, with Series S receiving the same update 3 months later in August. Console players were no longer stuck at 30 FPS. The next big update came just a month later in June with the Creation Kit, Bethesda's official modding tools. The Creations menu inside of Starfield was also added to allow you to download these mods in-game. This came hand in hand with the Trackers Alliance, a new collection of bounty hunting missions that started for free with the first mission.
New prompt. Good treat for a tracker.
Most of these. Hold on. Ty is in it. Ty, how you doing, brother? Welcome.
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Cool.
How you doing?
I'm good. How's everyone doing today?
Awesome. What you been playing?
I'm gonna be playing Shattered Space as soon as we're done here. If I wasn't here, I'll be playing Shattered Space right now. I think Bethesda needed this. So
you know what?
What's
We
up?
appreciate your restraint, because any normal gamer would be like, guys, I can't make it. I'm sorry. So y'all gonna have to understand.
You know, my friends always accuse me of one thing. They said you love talking about games more than you probably like playing them, and there's some truth there. I just like whenever I have a chance to talk about video games, I'm just always there. But no, Shadow Space is very tempting. But I'll just I'll try to wrap this up, not argue as much, not debate as much.
This
Keep
man
it
wants
nice
to
and
go
simple.
play video games. Wow. Well, I'm trying to fight you today, but we'll get into it.
By the time Starfield launches, go ahead.
On PS5, the game will be complete. Lord in heaven. So much salt. Tai the ninja hidden in plain sight. All right,
With following
I
quests
was
purchasable.
this close to having a flu and back spasms.
How so?
What do you mean?
Oh, so you don't come on the show and you're playing Starfield. Y'all are
So
wild.
close.
Almost.
I took some medicine and I'm here.
All right. Well, you know what? Just so you guys don't get any ideas, let's get through the show, because Ty is trying to get to Shattered Space. Ham is clearly trying to get to Shattered Space. So let's do this.
Through Starfield's Creations menu. This update also brought a separate bounty scanner system, which allowed you to confront people who had money on their heads and neutralize them for a reward, as well as a new missions board from the Elite Trackers Alliance. Ammo crafting was also added in case you got tired of scrounging and just wanted to make new bullets yourself. And the latest big update finally added the much-discussed land vehicle, the Rev 8, for free. Once you add a vehicle module to your current ship, you have access to this new land cruiser, complete with a turret, boosters, and armor to help you navigate these planets, as well as help you survive Starfield's new expansion, Shattered Space, which drops September 30th. And that's the rundown of all the big changes that have come to...
All right. So there wasn't much there.
There's nothing there.
Damn. All right.
I mean, there was something there for people that haven't been keeping up. How about that?
People like me?
Yeah, no, not people like you. People like you are ridiculous.
I haven't been keeping up. What are you talking about?
You do a podcast. I mean, so it's definitely not people like you.
Man.
You're a special type of degenerate with a tie.
Degenerate. All right. So let's talk about Shattered Space very briefly. What are you guys' thoughts on it?
FOMO.
I think it's going to be good. I think, if one of the key things you see in Bethesda's marketing is they say handcrafted planets. Like they want to get that message out there that we're going all the way back to what we used to do before. So from that angle, I think Bethesda fans will be happy. I think Starfield fans will be happy to an extent, because I think for them, the main issue is none of the game has problems, but there's a lot of quality of life fixes. Like if you go into Starfield subreddits, people are saying we need more randomized events. We need these planets to be filled up. We need the universe to feel more lived in. So yeah, sure. House Veru's planet might feel lived in, which is great. But when we leave that place, what else is there to do and to see? So I think that's what they're really hoping for. But I think this will give the game some kind of new life in the sense that people are going to come back. I was speaking to some people on the Reddit pages, and they're seeing these updates. They're seeing, there's a new rover, all these kind of things, but it's not enough to drag them back into the game. But hopefully, with all these updates, and especially with Shattered Space as well, we'll see an influx of new people coming through.
Okay. Hamothy?
I'm gonna piggyback off of that a little bit. So, I mean, there are some times, especially after you beat the game, where you're just like, I mean, sure, there's missions to do, but sometimes you wish there was just a little bit more. I wish I could just stay on this planet and do stuff for a little while, but it starts to get kind of mundane after a little bit. So yeah, I totally see what Ty is talking about, and it's not crazy inaccurate. Like, I've kept Starfield downloaded on both my console, Steam Deck, and my PC this whole time, and I was playing it really hard for about I want to say for about 9 months, and then then the last like 3.5-ish months kind of stuff, I was just just hopping back in, get a couple things done, and leave. But it was really hard for me to want to only play that game, even though that's what I really liked about like the first 9 months, is I was like more or less like on that all the time. But eventually it's just like I can do some of these small missions and whatnot, but it feels so scattered, right? Instead of feeling like I can just kind of like it'd be nice when you make your outpost or something like that, because I have a big ass outpost. I have things coming in, things coming out, and it's a nice living outpost. But I wish on my own planet that I could like really, because it's a little docile, but it's hard not to find a planet that's like that isn't like that, right? Without going to Aquila, or without going to one of the major hubs. It would be kind of nice to just be like, instead of the major cities around here, why not like a San Antonio? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the biggest city, but there's a lot of shit going on in that city, if that makes sense.
It does. It does.
I'm also thinking to your point when you said that it's scattered. It's not just scattered. It doesn't really tell you where to go to find these places. Like, it's quite hard for me to find the good missions. I have to go online, find out where they are. Whereas I felt like with previous RPG games that are grounded, it's a bit easier to find good missions. But with Starfield, there's just so much of a process and going here, loading screen, another here, loading screen. Like, just to get to that mission, it just feels too much like an effort. And Bethesda doesn't do a good job at telling you where to go. And I think that's fine, because obviously, in the previous titles, they didn't do that as well before. It's just because Starfield is so huge, you kind of have to do that.
Yeah, like more, just like you don't even have to fully explain, but just more clues. Like when you pick up that secret outpost thing, and then it's like, go there. I wish there was more of that. Like, you pick up a random, piece of paper or something like that in the middle of a fight, or you're, like going like infiltrating something, and then how you'll find a little tablet or something like that, and sometimes it'll have, or a book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be cool to open up the book and then it sends you on a mission, or it tells you to go on a mission and whatnot. But nine times out of 10, you pick up the book, it's the same book that you picked up about 30 or 40 times. And it's not really, I mean, it'd be, I guess it wouldn't be much different if you pick up the same secret outpost thing, but it'd just be a little bit more exciting knowing that when I'm going through these books, that there's a possibility I might run into a mission. Instead of just, seen this before, get it out of my inventory. Oh, this is probably nothing, I don't even want to look at it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. they need to remove the repetition. That's the problem. And it like you can repeat yourself in a game. It's fine because like Little Wayne said, repetition is the father of learning. And there's no game that's just unique from start to finish. Even Elden Ring has a bit of repetition. But with a lot of Bethesda games, at least the ones that I've played, which is New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim, and what is it called? God damn it, Starfield.
Oh, Starfield. Okay.
I did get the same feeling you get, Ham, and I'm big on story. As a big like Sony guy, I'm big on stories, and I hated that feeling of opening one of those discs or whatever those things were called, reading the first 3 lines, and I know the rest of it. It was very disappointing. I would rather, like, if I would rather they removed the repeated ones, and then you'd have maybe 1 or 2 during an entire mission. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel you.
But each one of them is actually different and unique and worth your time. Because when I see one of those, Ham, I take my time. I'm like, oh, okay. This might be an opportunity for me to get a snack and sit down and read for 3 minutes. I like reading. That's not a problem for me. Like, I've read almost all the codexes on Cyberpunk. That's why I put in so much time in the game. So I can definitely see like why you would have a problem with the repetition of the documents and tablets or whatever. Welcome in Retro, the family man. Appreciate you. Raichi, I hate when in 3 hours you find the same dungeon 2 or 3 times on different planets. I don't know. Like at first I hate it. But on the other side, it kind of feels like good practice for like main missions.
For me, I just wish that the caves had more of a sense of danger in them, because it feels like you can just kind of get in there. There's some materials and then you leave. And like, it'd be nice to go in there and then there's like, some type of enemy or, somebody trying to, we either actually be a person trying to get to the material before you, or it be like some sort of animal that's like native to that planet that's trying to that's like infested in that area. That would have been cool, but it just seems like you go into a cave and not even a bear has ever been in there. Like you're the first thing to ever see that cave ever, and it's got I don't know. It makes sense with some caves, but with every cave, it kind of feels a little naked.
Naked, he said. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all we've got for Starfield. Shattered Space. Anyone else want to add anything?
I mean, I can't wait to play it. I mean, like Taye said just a little bit ago, like the whole idea of handcrafted being really extreme emphasis for this specific update, and them saying like you're gonna feel what this planet is, and then all the ads and trailers and stuff that we've seen, it's very pretty. Like, I just can't wait to get in there and see what it's all about. I hope it doesn't disappoint. I'd be surprised if it does.
Are you guys concerned that Bethesda didn't give out review codes?
No, in my opinion, that gives that displays confidence. In my opinion, it's just like in my opinion, it kind of displays confidence, because it's just like no review codes. All right, well, you're gonna wait till everybody touches it to have any backlash instead of having it out up front, just so people can kind of be like, like temper expectations. They ain't tempering shit. They said here it is.
All right, confidence. thinks it is.
I think it's more to do with I don't think they enjoyed the feedback that they got from the initial Starfield release, with IGN and all that kind of stuff. They probably felt like
Mhm.
slightly like, who the hell do you think we gave you this game like a week and a half in advance, and you're gonna do us like that? Especially, because I remember at least with IGN review, you had I think Dan Stapleton was his name, and he went on a one of those things on those spaces, and people were questioning him on some of the his decision making, and he wasn't too sure about certain things, like he was missing some elements of gameplay that he didn't understand. So if I'm told Howard and I'm listening to that, I'm like, you reviewed my game, give it a 7, and now they're asking you basic questions and you're not even getting it right. So it means like you didn't give it a fair shake just because you got confused. You know what? How about this? How about I just don't give anybody you know what it is? I think they would have liked to give people codes, but select few people. And I know if they did that, there would have been an outroar like, oh, Bethesda's trying to do this, do that. So they just said, you know what, let's just not give anybody codes. And I'm in favor of that. I think it's okay.
I don't think you're crazy in saying that either. I think that's another layer. I think that there's layers of reasons, and that could be like one of the top layers.
Remember, they gave the Digital Foundry a code, and I didn't give I think the parent company or someone like the sister company a code.
Yeah, Eurogamer.
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that. And I mean, I don't think what you're saying is too crazy though, because it's just like, especially some of the games that we've seen reviewed in the past year, and we look at the score and we're like, huh? Like, how did this get a 7? How is this as good as Starfield? Hold on a second. Like a game, like in my opinion, like, no disrespect, but it is what it is at this point. Like, Concord got a 7, and it's like, wait a second, how did this get a 7? And it didn't even last. It lasted 2 weeks. How did that get a 7 when we all knew the issues kind of going on and around that game before it even came out, right? So before you even scored it a 7, we knew the issues with that and whatnot. And so with some of that stuff not making sense, I could see exactly what Ty is saying and just being like, like, why should I trust any of you motherfuckers? Like, I might as well, because last time we trusted y'all motherfuckers, y'all said the game was bad. And then come to find out, a lot of people really actually like the game.
It's a banger. No, Ham, do not put it under the do not sweep it under the carpet. Oh, a lot of people really like it. Starfield is a proper banger. Stop hating. It's got flaws, like every single game that's ever come out. It has flaws, but it is a proper banger. So what's going on? Because like I'm not saying I've participated in thousands of these reviews of games, but what usually happens is when you return your review of a game, your editor, a lot of times, especially when it's big games like Black Myth Wukong or Starfield or whatever, whoever's your editor will kind of pull you to the side and be like, yo, are you sure you want to rate Elden Ring 4 out of 10? Why? And then they'll start pushing you and questioning your points in your article and your final score. So although I do defend that, dude, whenever you see a score that says 6 out of 10 or whatever, you do have to look at just the individual and don't just look at IGN or GameSpot or whatever. I also have a little bit of experience to say that it's never a situation of Ham writes whatever he wants, gives the score of whatever game that he wants, and then just hands it in. There's certain games, especially the big ones, there's certain games that the editor will be like, yo, let's have a chat about this review. So definitely, Ham, this is one of the few instances that if you wanted to question the institution of IGN in this specific example, there's no defending it, because I'm sure this is not a review that was just made by just one person and that was the end of it. There's no doubt.
I'm really disappointed in Ron Slusher right now. He said
What?
one of the most repeated things I've heard about Starfield.
I think you wanted to say retarded, Ham, not repeated.
Sure. But he says No Man's Sky is better than Starfield. And I'm just like, man. Usually he has all the banger zingers, the funny ones, but that one's just kind of like,
listen, no one's perfect, Ham.
meh.
No one's perfect. Even Ron Slasher. We're finding out that even Ron Slasher is not perfect.
Even he has a floor.
How about
Even he
this?
has a floor.
Would you say, in terms of No Man's Sky's goal and what it's trying to achieve, it executes its goal better than Starfield executes its own goal?
I would say yes, but I would like to see No Man's Sky's review score on day one. That would be nice to see, because I don't think it would be fair to, if we found out the No Man's Sky's review was higher or the same as Starfield, that's fine. Because in my opinion, on day one, Starfield was a better executioner of its purpose than No Man's Sky.
And that's
No
where
Man's
I
Sky, people
actually
were talking about
disagree.
fraud. People were talking about fraud when No Man's Sky came out.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's where I disagree with the whole idea of did it hit better than better than No Man's Sky or vice versa. We do remember how long it took No Man's Sky to get off the floor, right?
We tried to pretend that didn't happen. We tried to pretend it launched just like that.
So if we're using timelines, then I'd say Starfield is a lot further than No Man's Sky was. Like, I feel like the easy thing to say would be, yeah, No Man's Sky hit its point better than Starfield. It's easy to say that for the fact that I don't feel like No Man's Sky has as much stuff going on in the game. Like, it has a lot going on, don't get me wrong. But it's just like, it doesn't remember where you it doesn't remember where you put exact stuff everywhere that you go. Like, it remembers your building. Sure. It might remember the last place that you landed on that planet or something like that. But if you drop something, you can't go back there and pick it up later. It's gone. And I don't know. I just feel like it's so different of a type of game than Starfield that it's hard to compare. I mean, why aren't we throwing in not Everspace? What is that game called?
Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous. Thank you. Why aren't we throwing that in there as well while we're at it?
Because they're
To
all
me,
in space.
Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky are more like each other than Starfield at all.
No, dude. Elite Dangerous is like a proper universe, dude.
I'm saying it's more like No Man's Sky than No Man's Sky is like Starfield.
Yeah, but No Man's Sky has a chance against Starfield. It's like comparing Kobe to his son or to his unborn son. If you want to compare Elite Dangerous to No Man's Sky, dude.
I'm
Elite
saying the same
Dangerous
thing about
has
Starfield. I'm saying the same
it has
thing
like
about
entire
Starfield and No Man's Sky.
It has entire financial systems. Elite Dangerous.
So
that
Starfield has RPG systems. Where's that No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm saying. Is the only thing that's similar is they're in space.
Wait, Starfield is 1 year old. Is that true?
It just turned 1 last month.
You know what? I'm done talking about this. I'm done. Because Richie's point is, what are we doing? It's different types of games. One had almost a decade to cook. The other one is a year old. Let's, you know what? Let's leave it alone.
And that's what I was saying, Loke. Let's look at first year. Let's look at the distance that each game has to travel. This game has traveled this far, Starfield, while No Man's Sky has traveled light years. like you know what I'm saying? Like it's been out for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah. Ron Slasher, you know what? I respect your opinion and your choice on this one. I do. And it's a valid like feeling that you have. It says it's easier for him to play. Star Fox, okay, the Star Fox stuff, I don't know. Can Journey to Savage Planet get some love? We can do that. But Ron Slasher, my personal like feeling towards No Man's Sky, I tried it last year again, and it bored me to tears.
I try it like once a year.
I
love
so
flying.
bored. Out
I
of
love
peer
flying.
pressure.
I love flying into the planet, but once I get on the planet, I'm bored of shit. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't like really have a good time once I'm actually running around with my character. I'm just not.
Yeah. For me, it just doesn't work. I'm sorry. No offense. For me, it just doesn't work. But I can see if someone else likes it, it's fine. It's fine. But for me personally, and clearly Ham as well agrees. Tai, if you had to pick between No Man's Sky and Starfield, where are you going?
Starfield 100%. No Man's Sky is just not my kind of game. It's open sandbox kind of game. That's fine for people who like that, but I like my stories. I like the RPG elements. So Starfield is always going to win. I think the problem you got with Starfield is, and it's a really good game, but I think it's just a little bit too over ambitious. If they had scaled it down a lot to maybe even 5 planets, like I'm talking, rather than have Neon as a separate planet, you could have put that on on Jameson instead. Where New Atlantis is, because it feels like you're only going to a planet for a specific reason, like which is one city. Whereas if you play like The Witcher, you play the Fallout games, there's multiple different cities, so you're traversing. It just feels natural. So if Jameson had 2 cities, 3 cities, it would have been a lot more interesting. Now Bethesda would like it, like, yeah, but you don't have to. You won't be flying as much. Yeah, but it feels more natural. I think it feels better, especially if they give you a speeder, right? So now you have a car or something you can drive on the ground.
Well, you already got a car now.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, like now, like it would have been better because now there's a reason for you to actually, traverse to a different location on your car.
That would have been so dope if they had a highway.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been. I mean, I'm feeling what you're saying. It's pretty dope. I like it.
Yeah, there's even a guy who made a mod, and in the mod, he has like a helicopter, like he's created like not land vehicles, like helicopter vehicles where you can fly around the planet. The game has so much potential opportunity. I think Bethesda kind of like spread themselves a little bit too thin. I'm sorry, a bit too wide. And then obviously we all know with the loading screens, the maps, all that kind of stuff. If it was a situation where it was kind of based on a solar system or 2 solar systems, you could actually make a good argument for actually just flying directly to one solar system, right? As opposed to like all these planets. I think it would have been a lot better if they scaled it back down. But
I want to pause there for a minute. When you say Bethesda were too ambitious, and guys, follow me on this one, right? Don't go to the toxic side of it. Tai just brought up a modder that built a plane, hovercraft, helicopter, whatever thingy that makes it possible for you to fly all over the planet. Is it wild to think that Bethesda needs to hire better people?
No. I don't think they need to hire better people, and I don't think that they were too ambitious with this game. What I personally think is that time will tell. Legitimately. Because if we're expecting to have this game be as populated as we'd want it to be, this game would have probably took 20 or 30 years to fucking come out. Right? So my whole idea or possibility with this game, or idea better, is that they built themselves a drawing board with a few drawings already on the board. There's a vast amount of the board that's empty. If they really care to support this game like they say, that board's going to get, there's going to be a lot of workings on that board eventually. Like, imagine hopping into Skyrim day one compared to hopping into it now.
It's a daunting task right now.
Exactly. So I'm thinking for myself, like, I agree with Taye if they were to stop sometime soon. But if they don't stop for as much time as they spent on Skyrim, then I think they did themselves a justice by making it as big as it is. But really, at the end of the day, like I started the conversation, time will tell.
I'll put it this way. You're talking about building up, but I think you're talking about building from the top down. Well, I'm talking about like building from the base level up. And what I mean by that is, you could have said, 2 solar systems, right? And then you have all these things where you can travel.
And you're
to
saying
them
add
properly.
upon,
and they keep
like DLC to add upon.
Oh, like No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky didn't have all these features as well, right? They decided to build on these things. But because Starfield is an RPG game, you can't really do what No Man's Sky is doing, unless you want to be a sandbox game. But because they're an RPG game, they have to build with a base first, and that base has to be, core people to talk to make all these planets interesting for you to go visit. Because right now, if you're No Man's Sky kind of player, it's a sandbox game, so you go to a new planet, it's okay. You don't like, you know what it is. However, if you're an RPG guy, there has to be a reason for you to go to that place.
Yeah.
You can't just go to a planet randomly and just do nothing, right?
Bro, what's the point?
Yeah, like I've been to a few of them and they look nice, they look good, but at some point you're like, okay, what else?
And
yeah, that's it. You're like, what else am I gonna do here? And then you leave and then you're done. So
dude,
that's
it
my
reminds
issue.
me. It reminds me of that of my favorite of my favorite movie series, The Matrix. In the second one, Agent Smith. Remember when he walks in the park to speak to Neo? Ham, listen, and it's like purpose. It's purpose that binds us, purpose that drives us. You need to give us purpose. That's why, for me personally, No Man's Sky does not speak to me, because it feels like just a big open space and like the reason Night City is awesome is because there's a reason for you to be in Night City. You're doing something. You're chasing after something, someone. There's purpose. Without purpose, you just have a big open space. And you know what? That's not fun. It's not entertaining. At least not to me. At least not to me.
Yeah.
So, Ty, do you think I'm being toxic when I say that there's so many modders that will take a game like Starfield and in a month, 6 months, maybe a year, are putting amazing things into it? Am I crazy to say that these people need to get hired? And we need to get rid of people that are coming up with reasons why they can't get shit done, and get people that will make stuff get done. Look at the speeders on Starfield, on Star Wars Outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in Starfield right now. Do it.
I think the maybe issue here is because I know Bethesda's hired some of these modders before, right? And then they've
actually talked about it. They actually, like, one of their last. I apologize for interrupting you, but one of their last showings or trailer things that they had, it was just like modders talking about how we're getting to work. Like, we just kind of got here, we seen what you guys all have, and we're about to get to work heavy.
Yeah, but I think the issue that happens is when these guys join, it's a 9 to 5 and they have tasks that they have to complete. So now there's things on the back end that they're working on. So all these extra features that we like, that we would like to see, like, you know, the hovercraft, all these things, they just don't have time to do these things because they're doing other things that are probably really important. They might be working on the facial animations for Starfield. They might be working on making sure the driving is perfect. They might be working on
Those
trying to reduce
animations are
the
pretty bad.
loading screens.
Those animations are pretty bad. Whoever's working on the facial animations on Starfield, maybe they don't need to be employed. Because they're kind of stiff. And I like that game. I do. But then the facial animations are stiff. Or something's wrong with them.
I don't know. I
'Cause
think
I'm
you should
not-
reload the game and play it because you haven't played
Alright.
it for a long time. They've
I
made
haven't.
a lot of drastic updates to a lot of different things. Like let me put it this way, Ty. Loke hasn't played it since the Series X got any sort of performance update.
I haven't played it.
Ooh.
I played it for like
So just think
3
of how much
months
stuff that
after it
he's
came out.
missed.
3 months after it came out. That was the last time I played Starfield.
But you played on 30 frames as well.
Yeah, I was playing on the base. The base settings when it
Oh
launched.
yeah, it's they've done a lot to change the game. Like it's not like crazy,
Well-
but like I would say, yeah, the game is very different now. I
Well,
won't
Ty-
like I play it on PC now, and I'm gonna lie, it looks really good. Like I'm
So
really surprised at the graphics in the game, the details of like just the rooms,
Can
the
I
mess
play this
around the
on-
place. They've graphically the game is really, really amazing, and the aesthetics are really nice. Like Bethesda's
It
done a great
looks less
job.
muddier than it did when it first came out. It looks a lot more
Yeah.
clean.
Exactly. Yeah, it looks really, really good. And the game is fun. You know, the Trackers Alliance is there as well. I've driven the rover a little bit. It doesn't change the game too much, but for exploring the planet, if that's what you want to do, and it makes it a lot
Yeah.
more easier, especially if you want to get the powers. Yeah, but they've done a good job. But I think it's the mod that's really going to take the game forward. There's a lot out there that looks really good.
I'm
Did
checking.
you do the part of the Tracker Alliance where the guy told you to turn around?
No, I've only done like the first mission where I try to catch that. You mean the one in the spaceship? Okay, that's not going to spoilers, but like I've only done the first couple of missions on it, but I haven't caught like the big bad guy yet.
Okay, never mind. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna let you figure that out yourself because I did it wrong once
Hmm.
and I didn't like it. Like, I mean, like I loved what happened, but I just felt so disrespected. I
Okay.
felt so disrespected. I was like,
Disrespected.
you Bethesda.
Violated or disrespected?
A little bit of both. Like I
What?
died. I'll tell you that. Like I died.
Okay.
And I'm an 100+ character. And I got deleted. I got deleted. Like the way it happened was mad disrespectful. I hope it happens to you, but if it doesn't, you got to talk to me after you complete the Tracker Alliance first part, and I can tell you what happened to me.
Yeah, we'll do.
Let's get into some messiness. Retro is asking, you guys think Starfield is gonna hit PlayStation or no? Thoughts?
The further it gets away from actually happening, the less likely I feel like it's gonna happen. I mean, now it feels like they got so much stuff done, and they even got their first DLC out, and it still hasn't even been like possibly announced. So I feel like if it doesn't get announced before the end of the year, that it's probably not happening.
I think it's going to happen. 100% going to happen. I think.
Ooh.
I think.
Give us an
Starfield
ETA.
is
Give us an
next
ETA.
year,
Not just
2025.
2025. It's going to PS5.
Yeah, I think worst case or latest case scenario, early 2026. But it's definitely going to go to the PS5 for sure. You know, Xbox stated in the FTC reports that they were missing out on potentially 10 million sales of Starfield. 10 million sales is a lot, and if you already started publishing your other games, there's no way you're going to give up 10 million sales, especially because right now we could probably cut Starfield and say, is it really bringing in new Xbox players? Probably not. Is it really selling Game Pass? Probably not. So there's a point where Starfield makes sense to keep it as an exclusive, and even right now with the DLC, there's people probably buying Game Pass to play. There's people buying the game again, but next year the sales are gonna kind of stall. I think you're gonna see more increase in the PC side of things, and Xbox knows that. So you might as well just put on PlayStation, and if you put on PlayStation, that's gonna ignite the user base again, right? So think about Sea of Thieves, Sea of Thieves, yeah. As soon as that was on PlayStation,
it did not need igniting. It was already one of the
but Sea of Thieves was multiplayer, and I understand. Yeah, they did that with Tango's game, Hi-Fi Rush. But I felt like they did that with Tango's game maybe because it was just not getting sales at all. And they maybe had an idea of, we are probably getting rid of the studio, so might as well get as much as we possibly can from it. I mean, I'm just throwing it around, but what I am going to do real quick is extend that by the end of the year to May, actually. May of next year. If we don't hear that it's coming to PlayStation by May of next year.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I want to give room to the developer direct, because it seems like they announced the whole Hi-Fi thing soon after the developer direct. So I want to give it up to at least May, which would be closer to their actual showcase, where they could kind of tell people something real quick and be like, focus on the showcase. You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, as we give this game to PlayStation as well, please focus on this showcase over her.
Look at what you're going to be getting first, and they're not going to get it for a long time. Like Starfield.
Damn.
They could then probably do the Outlaws strategy. Outlaws is going to release on Steam in November along with the DLC for Outlaws. So if I was Bethesda and I wanted to maximize profit, or I'm Xbox, I would drop Starfield on PlayStation 5 the exact same day as the new DLC Starborn. So then obviously PlayStation 5 can say, okay, well, the game is here, but also there's a new DLC as well. I think that would also get a lot more engagement from Xbox players, PC players, PlayStation players. New DLC, everyone's talking about it. Mindshare, there you go, more sales.
Everyone in the chat seems very confident that it's going. Retro said he would guarantee his purchase as soon as it's announced. One time, this guy is buying it on PlayStation.
Listen, John Wolf said it's 1,000% going.
Yeah.
He's an insider, so you know it's going.
You know it's going to happen.
As soon as he said that, I'm like, yeah, I know it's going for sure now.
Yeah, so for me,
an insider.
Yeah, he's an insider.
For me, what's this? Space Marine 2 is the only space game I care about right now. Oh, mwah, what an awesome game. Space Marine 2 is just amazing. If I could buy a physical, I would buy it just so I could display it somewhere. That's how good Space Marine 2 is. It's very good. As for Starfield going to PlayStation, I have two feelings about it. Like the first one is the personal feeling. My personal feeling is that it's bad for business. They shouldn't do it. Well, it's not bad for business. It's just bad. Because for business, it's definitely a good move. Like Ty said, you put it on the what's this? Raiders. Did we win last night? I didn't check. And today was a hectic day at the office. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, come on.
I still watch their shows and I don't game on Xbox anymore. Their games will 100% put more eyes on them from all platforms. So again, like I said, Ham and Ty, I think it's a bad move personally. On a personal level, I think it's a bad move. You want more eyeballs. Put it on the platform that has the most eyeballs. PC. PC has the most people playing. It has the most people buying. It's the king of gaming. That's where gaming lives, PC gaming, right? And I don't think putting it on PS5 is going to do that much of a leap for them on a personal level, right? Business. Put Starfield everywhere. Put it on PlayStation, put it on Nintendo if you can. Put it on the Sega Mega Drive if it works. All right? Business-wise, just do that. It's fine. But in terms of like my emotional side, I don't want to see God of War on Xbox. I don't want to see Starfield on PlayStation. I don't want to see Mario on PlayStation or Xbox. That's me just being emotional. But if you're talking cold business, just numbers, dude, just put it everywhere.
I echo that 100%, Loke. It's just like if you're literally just gonna start doing like start giving away like all your big games and stuff like that, then rip the Band-Aid off. I don't disagree with the whole like 3 or 6 months thing exactly, because I think if you're trying to just incrementally get people to come over, then that's not a bad plan. But if you're trying to flat out get people to come over, then don't give it to their platform.
Don't do it.
But if you're just trying to flat out make money, it doesn't matter. Like if you're trying to flat out make money, just hand it on over, get your big bucks. I think it's actually maybe an interesting idea that they're waiting, that they're maybe waiting to do it. Whether they do it or not. But like if they are waiting to do it, I find it interesting because then they're kind of doing to PlayStation what PlayStation's doing to PC gamers.
And that usually doesn't go well.
I think there's an element of diminishing returns. Like I think Xbox has looked at Starfield and other games and they've said, what is the max that we can take from this? Like how much money can this particular product make us? What is the value of the Game Pass player brings in, the xCloud players it brings in, the sales it brings in, and at some point, every game stops. Like it becomes a point where it doesn't matter. Like for example, let's say Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch. It sold 30 million units, right? Excuse me, huge game. It's not going to sell 40. Like it's kind of done. Its lifespan is kind of ended. So if Nintendo were to port that to a different console, they would make more money from that product. So I think for Xbox, it's for every single game we drop, what is the max that we can take from it? And then we can pass it off to somewhere else. It's the same thing with Sony's strategy, right? Spider-Man 2, God of War. The point on PC. Go ahead.
Oh my God. I didn't want to get bogged down on this one, but there's something to be said about value of the brand. Because even though Nintendo, with all of the exclusives, although the exclusives only sell like 3 million, 4 million, 2 million, they're not worried about, oh, we could make even more money if we put it on other platforms, which is true. It's super true. If you start putting Mario everywhere, they're going to make shit tons more money. But there's an argument to be made that Mario, or the value of Nintendo, dips from those exclusives being everywhere.
Sure.
Does that not happen to Xbox as well?
No, it totally can. But in my opinion, also is what's the main breadwinner of all the parts when it comes to console gaming? It's the IP itself, right? So like if the IP itself is not really selling a whole lot somewhere else, and they decide to reignite it and let it be sold somewhere else as well, and that platform may or may not be hungry for it, but regardless, usually the amount that it would probably cost just to port it over probably wouldn't be too bad on the company itself that's just trying to make as much money off of copies sold of said game. With that being said as well, I do think, there is logic with what you're talking about with like, your image matters and what you put out there. But also remember that I feel like today we're in a more shifty time with games than we ever have kind of been, where people are able to turn on different devices and play games from, platforms that they could never play before, more or less Xbox and PlayStation, right? Like there's a time where nobody believed a PlayStation game would go to PC. There's a time where nobody believed an Xbox game would go over to PlayStation. But I think the one idea that Xbox is kind of banking on, which is kind of an uneasy split, kind of a thin ice, a thin piece of ice to stand on and whatnot, but they're really banking on the whole idea of it really doesn't matter where you play. And I think they're kind of fucking with people a little bit with that, because it's especially the other companies and whatnot, right? Because
they're fucking with themselves, but okay.
They're fucking with some, yeah, they're fucking with themselves a little bit, right? But they're taking a chance, right? They're taking a chance, and that chance is people being more comfortable with PC gaming as an actual platform that they regularly play on. And with that actually happening, you're seeing these Steam Decks, these Lenovo Go's, these ROG Allies, and they're getting more comfortable to buy than they were in the past with the what am I thinking of, the like desktop kind of not desktop, they're almost like laptop computers. I'm trying to think of the specific one for the Win. It's something for the Win that I'm trying to think of, and that thing is like $1,200, right?
Okay.
And that's where we used to see a lot of these handheld PC was around the $1,000 range. Well, now those are getting cheaper to get. And guess what you can do with a Steam Deck? Guess what you can do with a Lenovo Go? Guess what you can do with a ROG Ally? And plug it into your TV. And you can constantly keep it fresh. What do I mean by that? You can go and get an eGPU for it if you really want to get crazy.
What's an eGPU?
So it is like it has a little home like holster spot where you could insert whatever GPU that you want to. So if you have the ROG Ally and you got this little docking system, you can put a 4090 in it, and now you got a 4090.
What
on your ROG Ally? The thing is with that, the bad thing about it is that it'll get bottlenecked by the CPU eventually.
Can you upgrade the CPU?
That's the thing. That's the thing right now to me. So and if they could have some way to have easier access to like exchanging or whatever for CPUs with these handhelds, then it'll be insane what you can do with the handheld. It'll be absolutely insane. And to me, at that point, it might be pretty worthless to have a console at that point, to be honest, because then I got a handheld device, and if I can interchange the CPU in it, great. And if I can dock it at home and throw a fucking big time GPU in it, the fuck am I doing? Why would I keep going to spend $500-$600, $700 apparently now?
Might as well be 1,000, dude.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think Xbox is banking on that being the future, which it more or less likely will be. But the question at the end of the day is when, right?
It feels like they're leaving the party too soon, in my opinion.
And that could very much be true.
Yeah, because this console thing, dude, the people have been talking about the death of consoles since 2006.
But
They've
see,
been
they're not
telling us.
leaving. But see, they're not leaving either. They're saying, "Hey, we're here," and there's talking about and there's been these talks all year about this whole idea of a handheld, and I'm sitting there scratching my head. And if what I just said comes true, and they got a handheld, and then they give you external pieces to upgrade it as you need throughout time. I mean, what can you say? I don't know. That's
If
just an
that's the
idea.
plan,
I'm not saying it's a sound or I'm not saying it's a sound or perfect idea. I'm just saying.
it sounds.
I mean, what's the
it
difference of
sounds
that
like
and upgrading your PC and having all the same shit on your PC? What's the difference?
So again, it sounds like a great idea, Ham, but we can only judge what we see, what's real in front of us right now.
Right.
Because Nintendo could wake up tomorrow and say everything's on PC. They could do that and destroy like all the conversations online. They could do that, but they haven't done it. And that's why I'm saying it feels like Xbox is leaving the console space early before the whole party ends. And just that's based off of what we know now.
I would say, or maybe give a different take on that, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. If first place PlayStation is putting their games on PC, so this is the market leader, number one, and they're saying we have to put our games on PC. What do you think third place would have to do?
Put it on PC. And that's
No,
all.
No, but think
Because
about it though.
PC is almost 1 billion people. It's literally PC. You can double and triple the amount of people that are playing on console. That's how many people are on PC. Once you put it on PC, you're done. You're good. Once you put it on Nintendo, once you put it on PlayStation, now you're not even competing anymore. What happened to Satya's speech about let's have competition? What happened to that gangster life meme with Satya? What happened to that?
Well, how about it from a severity point of view, right? So, PlayStation is saying, "Yo, the market's in a situation that we have to do this." That's the market leader. That's the guy who has the most share. That's the guy who has all the connections with the publishers. That's the guy who has the most games. The guy who makes the most money. If you
With
making the most
6%,
money,
6% margin. That's the guy.
But that's the thing. But if you're the market leader and you're saying to yourself, "I'm in first place and I have to make these concessions because of the market," what does third place, who makes less money, who has less publisher connections, who isn't selling consoles, what do they have to do? I would argue they have to go beyond what first place is doing to recoup that cost of profit,
Which is
right?
what, stop existing? Because that's what we're talking about. Because if the sales are bad now, no, let's be honest. Let's go all the way with this discussion. If the sales are bad now,
Yeah, let's go.
if the sales are bad now, that they have exclusives, but people don't think they have that much that much value. What happens when Forza, Halo, Starfield, everything, Fallout 6, Skyrim, 12, whatever, all of it goes to PlayStation? What happens then? Because every logical person thinks about saving money, except for these crazy fanboys that think that the more money they spend, the better things are. Those are the only people that think that the more money you spend, the better, right? But normal people that live in the real world, we don't want to spend more money. So as soon as all the Xbox exclusives are on PlayStation, what are we going to do? Because right now I have to make space in my living room on the other side. I have to make space for 2 consoles. Do you think I'm gonna have to make space for 2 consoles next gen if everything on Xbox goes to PlayStation, even if it's a year later? Dude, my backlog's crazy. My backlog is insane. And PlayStation do not mess around. This was a down year. This year was a down year, no doubt. But if you look at their average in the past and what is projected to happen starting next year, Q2, Q3, dude, what do you think is going to happen, Ty?
No, I think PlayStation's gonna they're in a very dominant position for sure. And I think if the more games go over, the less value people see in the Xbox console, not ecosystem per se, but console. So I agree there, but I think this is obviously Microsoft trying to. You said that they're trying to leave too soon. I see that argument, but.
Like if console gaming is a club, it's 3 a.m., dude. We're getting close to sunrise. It might be time to leave in an hour or 2. But it's banging. It is still popping in this club, dude. And you are grabbing you grabbing your jacket and you want to go. Are you serious right now?
That's a pretty good analogy.
I'm at Diddy's house. I am. I'm out. I'm out.
No, if it's a Diddy party, you leave before midnight. If it's a Diddy party, you leave before midnight. That's the rule. Rachel, thank you so much for the super chat. The Switch 2 NVIDIA chip will be a AI monster. Anyone know about the technical specs of the Switch 2?
I don't think anybody really does yet, but we can all assume that AI is going to definitely be all up in it. But going back to Tai's point, I really honestly think that not only Tai, but a lot of people that are happy for PlayStation or like just, PlayStation fans in general, right? I feel like they are more comfortable than Sony is in reality. I feel like everyone's like, oh, Sony's in a good place. Sony's fine. Sony's great. And Sony themselves are like kind of telling you, hey, it ain't going great. and everybody just keeps sitting back saying, oh, but they're the market leader. That doesn't matter. It still matters. We've seen it generation in and generation out, how volatile this stuff can be. A generation launch is extremely volatile. There is a reason why PlayStation made all of the adjustments that it has made throughout this generation. If they're really as fine as a lot of people are talking about, then what was the point of all of it?
Because they want to make more money.
Well, sure, yeah, you want to make more money, but I think any business wants to do that. But why are we seeing direct kind of almost copy and paste stuff of what other companies are doing? Why are you worried if you're doing so well? You see what I'm saying? They're not, and then on top of it, you try to work your way into the what is it called? What are these fucking games called? I can't believe I'm
live service.
What? Live service, yeah, thank you. I don't know why I had a brain fart right there, but yeah. But then you see them trying to work their way into live service. As you see, they announced the PlayStation 5 Pro. They did not mention Destiny not one time. We still don't know where the hell Marathon is at, and the last that we've heard, it's not so hot. And last that we've heard about the whole development side for Bungie is layoffs. And then the one live service game they put out don't last over 2 weeks. I mean, I feel like PlayStation's perfectly fine is a little is
it's not the one live service, Sam. because we did have the military shooter thing. I'm forgetting the name. That was a banger.
Military shooter thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Helldivers?
Helldivers. Yeah, that was a banger.
I'm not saying that they didn't sell anything at all this year. I'm not saying that there's an empty road of just absolutely nothing. But what I am saying is, let's not just sit here and we just got done seeing, before the year even started, we got the leaks from Insomniac talking about the ABK deal, talking about how they didn't like it.
Yeah.
How they're going to be able to get more money than them in certain aspects.
That crazy,
and
the crazy budget for Spider-Man.
And the crazy budget for Spider-Man. Now there's all these talks about crazy budget for Concord. There's a sense of worry for the next live service game that's supposed to come out, Fair Games. They did have a live service that was third party from Square Enix that flopped. Like this year's have been like 50-50 for Sony, in my opinion. Like no first party games really, except Astrobot, which was a banger. But the one other first party game was the opposite. It was the complete opposite. And so it's just like, and then keep in mind, they did buy some mobile companies, so they're trying to get more into mobile. So I mean, they're trying to expand and they're trying to figure out the right way to do it. And I see what Tae was asking. Well, like, you're third place and in first place is Hungry, and they say it's not enough. What makes you think that you're ever going to get past first place? And that's where I come right back to what I said, which is them banking on a different way to play games. They've kind of been telling us that this entire generation, we believe in you playing however the hell you want to, right? They're going to start throwing Microsoft stamps on everything. Just like they did with the Asus ROG Ally. Who was one of the main people to market that? Xbox. So I think that's like a taste test of what we're going to get for the next generation from Xbox, possibly. They may have something that's like OEM parts, OEM Xbox parts or whatnot for one's console, but I bet if they have any sort of a pro version, it's going to be made by AMD or Nvidia or something like that. Betcha.
I'm with John Wolf here. Says game sales make Xbox money, not console sales. The old model is dead at Microsoft. I don't like it as a gray beard, but it is what it is. And for me, what I'm trying to say is the old model is dying, not just for Microsoft. It's dying for everyone. It's dying for Nintendo. It's dying for PlayStation. But it's not dead yet. Why? Why would you leave when there's still money on the table? That's what I'm saying.
I feel like you should relax before you say leave, because until they announce a PlayStation 6 and Xbox is just tumbleweed and there's nothing, then I wouldn't say they left anything quite yet.
What I'm saying, Ham, is if you're putting your first party exclusives, because this whole thing started because Retro asked the question of, is Shattered Space, is Starfield going to PlayStation? My vision or my philosophy or my idea is, if you port your first parties to another platform and they're not porting their first parties to your platform, then you're not competing on an even plane of services. You're now competing of, oh, we've got service, we have no exclusives. They have all the games. Why do we buy these things? Services are nice, bro. They are nice. But what are the meat and potatoes? It's the games. It's the games. And if we know we can get the games on the little white box, why are we going to get the little black box? This is not a racial thing. Xbox has the Series X, which is normally black. The PS5 is normally white. This is not a race thing. It's just a color thing. All right, Ham, help me out here. Help me, because for me, my conclusion is, if you do this, you are essentially leaving the console space without saying that you're leaving.
Yeah. I just don't know about that quite. Like I want to just say, yeah, that's an easy answer. That's an easy thought. I just flat out agree with it. I want to say that because it seems like the simple thing to say. But at the same time, I'm just like, we're
Did you just
talking
call
about
me simple-minded? Did you just call me simple-minded, Em?
No. I'm saying it's simple to agree.
Okay.
It's simple to agree and just kind of be like, sounds logical, sure, and just kind of push it off. But like, I'm thinking at the same time, and I'm like, man, this is Microsoft that we're talking about. The same company that stopped making full-on tower PCs, but and gave everybody else their software, but somehow they still have hardware to give you. Like I'm thinking of it like that. Like these guys gave Windows to Dell, they gave it to Hewitt Packard, they gave it to Compaq, they gave it to everybody. They said, you know what? Our PCs, you guys can all run the same shit that we run. And they still make hardware. So like it's this. So to me, I'm just kind of thinking of it with that angle, and then I'm also thinking, how can you ensure that you get money from your competitor while still competing with them? I think that's the dream of most competitors, to be honest. I mean, wouldn't it be interesting? How do you think it'd feel? And obviously, some of these businesses don't do it, but some of them do. Some of these businesses do. I don't know how many times I've seen a KFC with a like a Pizza Hut or something like that. Like you just see some weird shit sometimes, right? Of them testing markets and whatnot. I'm interested to see what kind of happens with this, because everybody knows that the end of the road is PC. The end of the road is PC. Like, no matter how you look at it, the end of the road is fucking PC.
Yeah.
But it's just like, where is that kind of middle ground that you can kind of play with to try to get as much money as you can, but also try to make as many people happy as you can at the same time? And I don't know exactly if it'll actually work or anything like that, but I find the idea of trying interesting, and I want to see what comes of it.
We just lost Ty. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
He drops every once in a while. He'll probably be back.
Yeah, that happens. Internet in Ireland is something. I hope I'm wrong, Ham. Like, just to end the discussion, I hope that these are the ramblings of a very wrong person. That's what I hope. I hope in like 3 or 4 years you guys are making jokes at my expense, like, oh, remember when Loke was saying all of this stuff or whatever? Because I hope so. Because I think, besides the clickety clack, right? I think the Xbox controller is superior to the PlayStation controller. I prefer the Xbox UI, and I like the idea of competition. And when there's no competition, you get $1,000 consoles. You get $200 controllers. You get $100 video games. That's what happens when there's no competition. And I don't like the idea of that. I really don't. Anyways, Ty, do you have anything to close off this specific topic with?
I think you're right when it comes to competition. We need as much as possible to keep things going and to keep prices down for consumers. And Xbox became a very user consumer friendly when they lost you could say the previous gen. I think there is a fail. The most important one, yes. I do think there's a fail safe, and that is price still. I see a situation where if let's say Xbox is gone or whatever, and Sony runs rampant, I do think they won't sell consoles. I think whenever you start to charge more than $500 for a piece of hardware, people really need to think about it. And if you're not a mobile phone, you're gonna have a hard time selling that product. Think about it this way: even with the Xbox Series X and S, like last year, they were heavily discounted around the Christmas time. People just didn't buy it because they didn't really think it had that much value. And we're seeing the PS5 Pros. They haven't sold out in the UK and Europe at this moment because it's expensive. Now it's going to sell for sure, but it's expensive. And I think if Sony's goal is to make money, at the end of the day, they still need to sell consoles. And the best way to sell that is to make the consoles cheap. And they also have a blueprint, which is God of War, The Last of Us. These are franchises that sell 20 million plus. So the consumers have spoken and said, this is what we want. This is the price of what we're willing to pay. So if they try to overreach, if they try to go beyond that, then, when the financial report comes in, they're going to say less consoles sold, and regardless of competition, and they're going to say less games sold because we're not making the games that people want. So I think the video game industry is still in the fail-safe. I mean, we have a fail-safe regardless if there's competition or not. So that's one thing you could say I'm optimistic about. Yeah, maybe in 3 years' time, you will be laughing and say, "Oh, look, remember when me and Han was talking shit on the podcast and you were right all this time?"
Yeah. Let's hope so. When are people going to understand that Microsoft is not worried about PlayStation? Apple and Google are their real competition, and Apple is really afraid of what Microsoft and Xbox are doing. What are
there is some truth to that. There is some truth to that.
Please explain.
There's been a hell of a fight between Microsoft and Apple for their app to be completely compatible on iPhones. And like their cloud gaming and stuff like that. We do know Apple's trying to make their own gaming kind of segment, or
Apple's doing damage too.
Something like that.
Apple is doing damage right now. They're not trying to do it. They are doing damage right now.
Well, there you go.
Apple Arcade made more than PlayStation and Xbox.
And what they're seeing is Xbox has not only just small phone games, but they also have AAA big time games. And Apple doesn't really have that.
I think to Sir X-Men's point, I think I don't believe that. I think there's a lot of fear mongering at the start by Phil Spencer in particular. I would say Microsoft were worried about Apple and Google because the industry was growing, right? And all Phil had to do was go to Satya Nadella and say, "Hey, listen, the industry is growing. These guys, if they come in, they're going to take it over." However, I think the Xbox guys knew very well that Apple and Google were never going to really pose a threat. Because if you think about it, Apple and Google are not going to take over the PC space. That's Steam. Like it's done. Like you can't do nothing there. That's one. Two, you can't come into the console space because there's so much investment that's needed in that space. And the other competitors, they would just outbid you every single time. You know?
It would be said.
All Sony has to do or Microsoft has to do is say, okay, what are your expected sales for this new Google console? And it's going to be like 40K or whatever it is. And Microsoft says, we'll just pay that off. and then Google has to keep raising its prices every single time, to compete. And we saw with Jason Schreier. He said, as soon as Xbox bought Bethesda, Google were like, yeah, we're out. Like, we're not like 7 billion. Like, we gotta go them spend 10 billion, 20 billion to compete. We're not gonna do that.
And that's not to lead.
Exactly, that's not
just
to lead.
Have a chance.
And listen, if Google buys Bethesda, you still see these games on Xbox and PlayStation because they're in the same position, thinking, yeah, we need to make money, like we need to recoup these costs back. So I don't think they were going to take over the console space. The question was cloud. Who was going to be the one to lead cloud? And I think Microsoft, they knew they were at the forefront, because even if Google and Amazon had these cloud servers, they don't have the games. And Microsoft knows they have the games. They have the connections. They have connections with Capcom, Bandai, EA, CD Projekt Red. So I think the threat came from the cloud, but everything else, not so much. And the thing about cloud is, I think it's very flexible, right? So Xbox could be leading the cloud right now, but who's to say in 5 or 10 years' time, when Sony then gets their own cloud system, everyone just doesn't migrate to PlayStation, because cloud gamers are not they're not very picky. They don't do console wars, right? They just go for the tech, the games.
That's all.
So
That's all.
it's like Netflix and Disney. You're not loyal to one, right? It's who's gonna let me play the games I want to play. Who's gonna let me watch what I want to watch?
Okay. Hold on. I've seen people be fanboys of Netflix.
Really? That's so
I've seen
weird.
it happen here in Mozambique. I've seen it in South Africa as well, from the people that I've talked to. And that's because Disney is associated with family-friendly kids and superhero stuff. And a lot of the people, because remember I told you guys that Disney it wasn't available in Mozambique until recently. A lot of people are just like, yeah, I want varied programming. I want to watch all types of stuff, from the most grotesque to the most PG. And Netflix has the variety, whereas Disney is more limited. So, yeah. But sorry, carry on with your point.
No, the point really was just if you're focusing on cloud, I think you can lose consumers very easily and fast. Whereas with a console, the reason why Sony is so dominant is because you have to stay invested into that PlayStation ecosystem, because you've bought a $550 console. Your library is stuck in that location. However, if it's an app, I think it's very, very flexible. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think these tech giants were ever going to really compete. And I really do put it down to fear mongering from Phil, because he was saying a lot. He was saying, "Oh, Sony's not our competition. It's just it's these guys I'm worried about." No, Nintendo is kicking your ass, and Sony's kicking your ass. Amazon and Google ain't doing nothing, like nothing at all, and it's gonna stay that way for a very long time. Now, where I do think Microsoft is a threat to Google and Apple is if Microsoft obviously one day they get their own marketplace on the app. However, if they go the Netflix approach, the Netflix games approach, which is okay, sign up to our platform. Let's call it Game Pass Mobile. So Game Pass Mobile competes with Google Play, Google Games Plus, or whatever it's called, and Apple Arcade. I think that's where the threat comes from those guys. But in terms of Apple and Google going into the console space, PC space, no.
Fair enough. Sony ain't kicking shit but the bucket. God damn. Mo is always mad. I wanted to highlight, because it's everything plus gaming, so we have to highlight at least one thumbnail on Twitter. Ty puts a video together that I thought was interesting. Shall we watch it?
Historical accuracy and culture. The pushback.
Okay. Here we go.
Yasuke's involvement in Assassin's Creed Red derives from two key points, I'm told, and that's historical accuracy and cultural appropriation. However, if you take a deeper look, you realize the main people leading this charge are the same people who champion shared cultures. It's the same group of people who gladly accepted fast and loose historical and accurate depictions of themselves. Because back then and until recent, it's never mattered across all media until now. So let's stop with the red herrings and bullshit and just get right into it. I'm going to ask you two questions with one follow-up given the obvious parameters. Question 1. Was Yasuke a real-life person living in Japan during the Sengoku period? Number 2. Was the African named Yasuke?
All right. So the first one. Chai. The first one. Yasuke is the first. Yasuke is the first in-game protagonist that was in any way real in any of the Assassin's Creed games.
True.
All of them, without exception. Every single protagonist in Assassin's Creed has always been a fictional character, and then characters like Yasuke, who are somehow historically relevant, have always been like ancillary NPCs.
That's true.
And you just dribbled right past that one. I was like, no. I want to grab you by the collar and bring you right back. It's not exactly that.
But I think the main point here will be this: Ubisoft has been changing things
the
a
main
lot.
point that you want me to look at. Yeah, that's what you want to say. The main point that you want me to look at.
No, because you see, I think
is a recent game. Valhalla is a recent game.
There's multiple questions when it comes to this. So I think the argument for Yasuke, there's twofold, and there's one that's justified, right? And that's the argument of, hey, listen, Yasuke shouldn't be in the game for XYZ reason, because from a cultural perspective, from a story perspective, doesn't make sense.
He shouldn't be in the game. That's not the point. He shouldn't be a protagonist.
But you see, the people who set the rules are Ubisoft, right?
Yes.
And I think they can amend their own rules as much as they want.
Yes, they can.
Because
two things cannot be true. No. These two things cannot be true. You can't say that you don't have an agenda, and then have the behavior of someone that has an agenda. You can't do that. You can't, for the last 20 years, have a specific non-written rule that you always follow to the letter, and then you break it, and people are just supposed to be okay with it.
Well,
like
I can't show up
on TSWS one day, right? Like I have this rule, my personal rule, right? This is how I show up on TSWS. I can't wake up tomorrow, show up shirtless on TSWS, and then be upset that people are like, yo, what's up with Loke? Do you understand what I'm saying?
To an extent.
Does that make sense?
To an extent, but I think it's a little bit different, right? So I'll give an example. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it was the first time you could play as two protagonists in an Assassin's Creed game, and they were twins.
Yes.
Guy and a girl.
Yes.
Now you could say, no, they were trying to do politics. They wanted to have the cake and eat it, because you could be as a boy, as a girl. They wanted to kind of catch those two targets. And I think they even made a claim to like, oh, listen, the girl's now available, so people can choose it. So is that politics? Who knows, right? In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, they said, you know what, we're going to do something different. We're going to allow you to be a boy or a girl.
Retro, what's wrong with you? Sorry. Go on.
No, in Odyssey, they said, like, we're going to allow you to be a boy or a girl. Once again,
yes.
That's them changing the rules again, you know?
Yes.
And, you know, then you have in Valhalla, it's the exact same thing, but then they started including things like sexual experiences. You know, you could be gay, you could be a lesbian, you could be bi, you could be anything. And people complaining, saying, hey, listen, these are not historically accurate, but they're saying, listen, it's part of the game. Like, we're trying to do things to tell a story and to make this more fun. So they've showed
Sorry. Finish your point.
No, I'm basically just saying like they have a history of, I guess you could say, amending their own rules. That's one. But also we gotta keep in mind, the first person, the guy who created Assassin's Creed, he's long gone, right? And then you had new directors every single time coming through doing different things. So Assassin's Creed is gonna evolve.
Jai,
What's up?
you're boxing shadows and you're missing. You are missing badly. You know why? Because every single sequel to every single game that's ever existed has had changes. People are allowed to be upset about one specific change, even though you've made 30. People can be upset because maybe those other changes, hold on, maybe those other changes, according to the gaming populace, maybe those are the changes they were good with. Maybe they're okay with that. We're not.
Yeah, but we gotta evaluate the gravity of those changes, though, right?
We're not saying we don't want changes. That's not what we're saying. We're saying we don't want changes that upset the fan base, because this is about purpose, dude. This is about purpose. All right. Video game companies exist to sell video games, not to piss people off or preach to them. That's not why they exist. You can do all those other things after you sell the game. After. But first and foremost, you shouldn't be trying to trigger people. And whether you're trying to do it or not, if you do it, you need to find a way to fix it. Can we agree on that?
Well, no, because as a creator or director, right, you're always going to trigger people when you embark on change. If you keep an IP static, I'll give an example. Yeah, do you know the Mask, the comic? You know, with not Bruce Almighty.
Keep it in video games. Kojima made one game with one specific protagonist. The sequel, there was another protagonist, and people lost their fucking minds, myself included. But you know what happened?
What happened?
It was a great game. It was a great game.
People haven't played Assassin's Creed, so they can't.
Fair enough.
They haven't played it. They haven't seen the story. They haven't seen the gameplay. What they're complaining, the things they're complaining about, at least in this segment,
My inner
are
Alex.
things that we've already dealt with in the past as well, right?
What?
Oh, wow, okay.
No. Vince says I should follow my inner Alex because I gave my example of showing up on stream shirtless. So I'm saying my inner Alex. I'm trying to work up the biceps. My arms are not as big as Ty is, but I'm trying. All right, I'm giving it my best. Anyway,
that looked pretty big to me, man.
Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead. You were saying?
But that's the thing. Like, there's always going to be changes, and I would be surprised if 10 years from now Assassin's Creed still looks the same way, or 15 years from now, or 20 years from now. Like, why would we expect it to look the same? They're always going to do new things. In the same way how in the original inception of Assassin's Creed, nobody thought you could be a boy or a girl. Like, wait, that doesn't make sense. That breaks the lore. Because remember, the idea is you're taking your ancestor, a specific ancestor, let's say Ezio, for example, and that is the ancestor that you're now living their life. But Ubisoft says, well, we're gonna put boys and girls in the last game now. So that's breaking the law. And they've done many things like this before in the past.
Not really, because in terms of ancestry is it's something that's determined by gender. Like, I know I have female ancestors. I'm sure I'm going to have female descendants. So anyone bitching about like the mix of ancestry with the two genders, for me, that person is insane.
Well, no, because the ancestor is a specific person. Yeah, it's kind of like Geralt of Rivia. Like, he's an individual person. Batman is an individual person. Batman is a straight man who's called Bruce Wayne, who likes women. So for them to then say, well, your ancestor is not going to be Brucelina Wayne, who's a lesbian, that's changing the lore, right?
Yo, that I'm just thinking about that. That is stressing me out.
It's
Like,
it's
no.
they've changed the lore. Yeah. So Ezio, for example, is your ancestor,
Yeah.
and he's a guy.
Yeah.
They're saying, yeah, we're gonna get rid of that, and now you can just be, your ancestor could be a boy or a girl. You can switch anytime you want. From a lore perspective, Assassin's Creed fans were not too happy with that because
I
it
think
was
that's
breaking
fine.
the lore.
I think that's fine. I'd be bothered if they said we're going to revisit Ezio Auditore's story, and now Ezio's gay.
Well, put
I
it
feel
this way.
some type of way about that because we already know who Ezio is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, true.
So with the whole Yasuke thing, and this feeds into the whole Yasuke situation. We already know who he is to an extent. We know who he is. So whatever is added in this game, if he was a side character, it would be easy to brush it off. But as a protagonist, as the first protagonist that is like historically someone that actually existed, obviously people would pay attention and be like, yo, this is a big change. This is a big change. And I think it's valid that some people are upset. I'm not upset. I'm playing this as soon as I can. I'm not upset, but I don't think the people that are upset about this are crazy. But let's go back to your video. Let's go, because you said something else here.
Yasuke bestowed the official rank of samurai by the Lord Nobunaga. The answer to the first question is yes, and the second answer is you don't know. You don't know because the evidence here is inconclusive. There's nothing that outright says he was, and there's nothing that confirms the opposite. So taking a staunch stance on either side just seems like a reach. And that's not me saying you're this or that. I'm not here for the labels. It's me saying, taking a staunch stance saying you're this or that. I'm not here for the label.
Mwah. Mwah. I'm not here for the labels. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful.
It's me saying, taking a staunch stance on something that's inconclusive seems a stupid hill to die on and makes everyone question your motive. The first two questions I asked you were completely irrelevant, and the reason for irrelevancy is actually baked into the follow-up question, which is, why do you care?
Motherfucker, this is where me and you have problems. Right here.
Why do you care, bro?
Why do you care? I care
I want to know.
because you care.
No, that's a circular answer.
Because if it didn't matter, this wouldn't get done. This wouldn't get done if it didn't matter.
But I'm providing analysis. I'm providing analysis on why people. I'm asking people why they care about this issue. Because remember, I'm not the one making the complaints. Ubisoft has done what they've done. I'm cool with it. I'm chilled. But I'm seeing people complain, and I'm saying, okay, now I want to know why you care so much. And I think that's the important thing. Yeah. Dude. Why do people care so much about this story? Why didn't they care? Why didn't they care about when Neo did it? Why didn't they care when Samurai Warriors did it? Right? Like I have a conversation with somebody and they'll say like, well, they're taking Japanese culture and they're doing X, Y, Z. And I was speaking to a Japanese guy about this actually.
Yeah.
And I asked him straight up. I said, because he mentioned Thomas Loki. I don't know who that guy is, man. He mentioned Thomas whatever. And I said to him, I was like, I don't know who that is, but why? I asked him a simple question. In Japan, has Yasuke been depicted as a samurai? And his answer was, well, I don't play those games. I'm like, no, I didn't ask you to play the games. I'm saying that has Japanese people depicted him as a samurai? He said, yeah. It goes, okay, so then what's the problem then? It's not like they came into your culture and they just took someone who was a random person and just said, yeah, this person's a samurai now. You guys have done this. I said, have you played Neo 1 and 2? Yes. Was Yasuke a samurai? Yes. Have you played Samurai Warriors 5? Yes. Was Yasuke samurai? Yes. And in the media, like in maybe some TV shows, some manga, he's been depicted as a samurai as well before. So what is the complaint?
The complaint is Assassin's Creed, bruv. You're moving the goalpost to make this a discussion about Yasuke in all media. I'm being specific because I'm a gamer that's that's hearing people talk about Assassin's Creed and complain about Assassin's Creed. That's why the initial conversation, when me and you were talking just now, I didn't bring in all this other stuff. I brought up a objective fact. This would be a problem regardless of whether it was Yasuke or freaking Nobunaga himself, if they had chosen him to be the protagonist.
Would you
People
say it would
still
have
be
been
questioning.
less of a
Let me
problem?
finish. Let me finish it. Let me finish my point. People would still question why is Nobunaga deserving of being a protagonist? There's never been a historical character that was a protagonist in the entire franchise of Assassin's Creed. Well, who is this guy? Why is he special? I am sure that would be an issue. Now, to answer your follow-up question that you're obviously going to ask me just now, no, it wouldn't be World War III on the cultural front. It would just be something that me, Ham, and you, and other just only video game people, no grifters, just video game people would be like, yo, what's up with this? We would question it because our intentions are just about Assassin's Creed, the franchise, and the video game.
In the same way we questioned
the grifters wouldn't care.
In the same
But
way we questioned
we care.
Ubisoft when they decided to allow us to use two protagonists, right? Because that's what Assassin's Creed fans, complain. They cared about that, right?
Yeah.
And you see how it worked out, and everybody was happy, everyone was cool with it. So my issue
People were
is
not cool with it. People were not cool.
no
with
people
it.
people
You had
fine with it.
people saying that in Odyssey they should have just made it only the female protagonist because she
Cassandra,
was better. Because she
Yeah,
was the voice
but the-
actress was better.
But they said the
So
same thing with Mass Effect as well with Commander
Don't
Shepard.
try and revise history, dude. People were
This-
not cool with it.
No, my point is they said the same thing with Commander Shepard in Mass Effect as well.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And what I'm trying to say is when these discussions came up, people were not talking about grifters, racism, etc., etc. People are just talking about it's people that disagree. Why is it that now that it's Yasuke involved, we can't just disagree? Why? Why is it that now you're racist?
Well, I didn't say that.
No, I'm the same way in your video, right? You were
Mhm.
addressed the so-called global response to Yasuke, right? I'm also asking that question to the global response. Why is it that when people are just asking questions that they would ask of any change that was similar to this one, that even you agree with, that that people would definitely question it, even if it was Nobunaga himself, people would question like, yo, we've never had a historical protagonist. Why do we have one now? People would question that. Now they're doing the same questioning, but instead of people looking at the objective fact that, dude, this franchise, that's not something that they've done, now they're doing it. Instead of people looking at it and saying this is just objective questioning, it's racism. Why is that? And also the follow-up question, what do you think is the consequence of people making that connection? Because it's all about dots, right? All these relationships that we create online, they're dots that connect to one another and leave impressions in our minds and in our hearts. When we make constructive criticisms and questions of people that are not melanated like me and you, it can just be taken as criticism. As soon as you criticize someone with our skin color, now it's racism. That's what I wanted to say to you.
The reason why it can be seen as racist has nothing to do with the general conversation. It has to be with the details, right? So when somebody asks you a question, why is it that you don't want Yasuke in this game? If you say because hey, it breaks the law, that's not racist. If you say because I think we need to focus on Japanese people instead, that's not racist. It gets problematic when you start to turn yourself into like a pretzel trying to give different reasons as to why he shouldn't be in the game, right? So if you say Well, because the black samurai didn't exist, or you say, well, he wasn't a samurai. And the question is, well, where are you getting your facts from? And then if you say, well, I don't really know, some people said so, some people didn't say so, then the question then becomes, okay, so why do you care so much? Because you have no evidence to side with you in the first place, correct?
Yeah, clearly that question is not for me because my issue is with.
Yeah, because I don't think we're even disagreeing. You know, I've had this
No, we're
discussion
not.
before with people.
We're not.
In terms of the general people who are attacking people for saying, "Hey, you shouldn't question this." Yeah, I mean, they're stupid. That's why even in the video I said anybody has a staunch stance on this, left or
On
right,
either side.
yeah, like you're both crazy, you know. But then I say, well, this is all irrelevant anyway because the game is fiction. It's a fictionless game. It's fake. You know, none of these things is like it's that deep, especially when the developer has said, yeah, we're gonna take liberties with story points. Now, if a fan says, hey, listen, I don't want you guys to use real life protagonists, I think that's to gatekeep yourself from not using real life people whenever is silly. If I would go as far and say in the first, I'm just speculating now, I need to double check this. In the first Assassin's Creed game, was there any real life people in that game?
I don't remember any.
Yeah, so
maybe
the rules,
maybe one of the priests.
I actually don't think so. And I think it was only when we got to Italy, when we started seeing Leonardo and all these other people, that we're like, oh, now I'm meeting real life individuals. Why wasn't there a big, huge uproar back then? You know, why wasn't there like all this crazy uproars when the game was being changed at a fundamental level?
Because that wasn't your protagonist though. In those games, like seeing a real life person, like playing, I don't know what's the game called. Let's see on my desk. The Order 1886. Playing the Order 1886. You got Nikola Tesla in that game, but you're not playing as him. So, I mean, does he say historically accurate stuff through and through in that? Probably not, right? But seeing that you aren't recreating history as playing as that person, I feel like the disconnect is comfortable enough to some people compared to you are now somebody. And like think of you being Nikola Tesla today in a game. Some people would find that cool. Me, I would definitely find that pretty cool. But like, there are some people that would be like, "Oh, you portrayed that completely wrong. I don't like the way that's done. He was really an asshole, but he did get his stuff stolen from Edison. Yada 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 yada." And it just opens it up. It just, I mean, like I feel like him being in the Order 1886 may crack open the door, like you're saying, but being the protagonist kicks the door in. There's different ways, you know, people appreciate maybe a little bit of subtlety compared to blatant. And I think that's where the kind of difference is here.
But you see, here's my pushback to that, right? If they said, hey, listen, you know, you're taking, you know, Hitler or, you know, Mussolini, any of these characters. You're taking any of these characters, right? And you're changing the story, all these kind of things. That's problematic. But if I tell you right now, you're gonna take over a character that you never really heard about in history, that there isn't really much written about this character. So anything that happens, you don't really know. You can't say he was a good guy or bad guy. You can say he was a straight guy or gay guy. You can say none of these things, but you still say, yeah, but I don't like it. My question is why? Why so annoyed? Because I would understand if you took George Washington and then flipped his story. Okay, I get it.
To me, that's not a very good argument, though, because then you're saying this person matters more than this person.
No. I can understand an emotional attachment to a real life person, a real life figure, right? Like what's that lady's name? Harriet
Tubman.
Yeah, for example, yeah, if you create a game and you know make her play, you playing as her, and then you're doing this, you're doing that, you can do what
you get up right away and move.
Yeah, I can see why people are annoyed at that. But if it's somebody that you don't know, somebody that you've never played as before, that you didn't learn in your history books, Why so angry or why so upset?
Because there's a reason they're in history.
Yeah, but if I ask,
and if you can look back and kind of like discredit a lot of stuff within it, and then on top of it, you look at the history within your own franchise, and you've never done this thing before. I mean, like I said, this isn't a crack the door open. This is a kick the door in situation. So you have, I mean, action reaction. I mean, it just, to me, this is, I don't care about this. I'm going to play the game. I know that they're not historically accurate in 99.9% of video games. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. But there's a lot of people, and it's just like the WNBA now. A lot of these people complaining and saying stuff don't watch any of the games. They don't care. It's just in the headlines now. So they want to tell you their thoughts. It has nothing to do with will it sell? It has nothing to do with is this fun? It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just loud noise being made. You kick the door in. So now you got people jumping out of their seats. They don't know that you're bringing them good food. They think somebody has a shotgun. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's the kind of thing that Ubisoft brought upon themselves. Now, I want to play this game, but do I feel bad for what they did? No, you brought the smoke. So now you got to deal with it. I'll play your game though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just paying to get a ticket to the seat. I have nothing to do with the people on the court. I have nothing to do with the coaches. I don't know the athletic director. I don't care. I came to watch the game.
There's a few things you said there. You said the people who are here are not like, they're just like the grifters or whatever coming in. So that's my point. Why should Ubisoft limit their creative decisions for grifters who don't actually play the game, who don't even care about the company?
Because if the grifters are talking absolute horse shite, right, no one's going to listen to them. But if people agree with them, then you have a problem.
So we let people. So we let people who don't actually play the game. Like it's like for example, it's like me. Yeah, let's say I don't like Metal Gear Solid. I don't give a shit about Metal Gear Solid. You're the fan, and I start telling Kojima or whoever, "Yo, change this. I don't like that. Do this way." And the Kojima says, "Okay, I gotta bow down to the grifter Ty." How would you feel? Do you think that's okay?
No, I 100% agree with you.
Let me add on that one. Let me respond to that.
Okay, go ahead. You go first. Go ahead.
Ty, if you open
say the name of that game,
if you open your page about that specific game, and then you have 100,000 people watching, 500,000 people watching, 1 million people watching and agreeing with what you're saying, and then Kojima decides to listen to what you're saying, and I disagree with whatever it is you were saying, dude, as an adult, especially an adult that has been in a work environment, a team environment, you need to know when you've lost. This is not preschool. There's no participation trophies, my friend. There's nothing like that. The one who presents the best argument in the best format wins. You think it's right. In this example, I think it's wrong. I think what you were saying is wrong. But I'm the only one that thinks that. And I'm at peace with a reality where Tae comes in and ruins my favorite franchise with the help of Kojima himself. I failed to protect that which was precious to me. Maybe in this timeline, You are making those videos. I'm making my counter videos. No one's watching my videos. Everyone's watching your videos.
Oh my God.
You win and you lose in life. It is what it is. And that's what bothers me with this whole thing. It's like if someone has an argument and 1,000 people are listening, 1,000,000 people are listening, that person's a grifter. You, no one's listening to you, but you are the bearer of truth. I don't know, man. The truth usually doesn't struggle.
I tell you though, I kind of look at it differently. Like, I see the way you guys are looking at it, but like the way I kind of look at it is it's just like, is this that hill? You know what I mean? Is this that hill? Because sometimes there is that hill where you're just like, I'm dying here. I'm not budging. This is what we're gonna do. I'm dying on this hill. This to me isn't a good enough, and like I feel like this hill constantly has earthquakes. like we can move to another hill that doesn't constantly have earthquakes. But if we're gonna stay on this hill, know that it's gonna shake. And to me, it's just like it's like I said, this whole thing isn't very personal to me because I want to play the game, right? I'm not like vehemently like against any of what they're doing exactly, but at the same time, who knows in 2028 that they don't pick a character that I'm like, yo, that didn't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like it comes down to but Ty, hear me out, bro. Like taking somebody that is not a super duper star, like you said, but is marginally a star, right? Marginally,
because like you said, is in so many properties.
There's in so many properties that people have taken because they make all liberal. They're very open with what happens. Like for example, if you look at Neo 2, I mean, they just the developer just made up stories about Yasuke. Right?
I wasn't finished yet.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right.
So, like, say they take somebody like James Dean, right? James Dean is an actor, died a long time ago. But he was one of the pretty boy actors, one of the first pretty boy actors in America, right? Like you may see him on like old pictures with him like smoking a cigarette. Like he was just like the all-American boy back then, right? Now take him and just have him just kicking it in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Have him kicking it in the hood. Have him, teaching young African American students.
Oh my goodness.
Something.
All right,
in the hood. Do you see what I'm saying, though? Do you see what I'm saying? You took somebody that's marginally famous, but you did something that may be just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, hold on a second. And I'm sure that's what some people are looking at with this whole Yasuke thing. Am I wrong, Loke? They took somebody that's marginally famous and made him bigger than he was in somebody else's hood.
I think everyone would have been okay with it. If they'd made him an NPC, I think everybody would have been okay with it.
100%. Nobody would have even thought of nobody would have even had a thought about it. They would have actually like pointed it out and said how great Ubisoft is for pointing it out. That's what would have probably happened if it would have happened in that way. But since he's the main character now, and we know that we've come to realize that video games don't tell truthful stories 9 times out of 10. this could get pretty messy. Like it could get messy, and
How much?
and it could get messy.
Question for you.
What's up?
How much do you think? So on a scale of like 1 to 100, how much do you think the controversy is actually about Ubisoft putting in a real life person in the game?
Oh man, that's probably small. That's probably
So you
small.
see the problem
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Is
Oh
that
yeah, no.
we're attributing.
I'm telling you, I see the issue, but what I'm saying is you didn't, or not you in particular, but Ubisoft, right? You left an open opportunity to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
You left that opportunity to say, this is not okay. You didn't fill all the slots. You didn't hit all the you didn't tick all the boxes, right? And if we're being honest, brothers and sisters out there, you kind of gotta tick them boxes if you want to be completely recognized properly. We seen what happened not that long ago with Tales of Kenzera, right? Just all it took was Sweet Baby, boom, it's done. It's done.
Dead.
It's
Dead.
done.
No,
Just because
no
of
one gave it a chance.
just because Sweet Baby had a little bit to do with it. It got completely ignored, and they said, found it. I found the issue. And that's what they're doing with this game. And I'm sitting back, like I said, I bought my ticket because I already know how this bullshit goes. I don't care about it. I'm here to enjoy the game and whatnot. But I can look and say, man, bro, you should not be driving with that in your car. I can tell you that every day, but you still do it. And then that one time that you thought it was just like every other time, you got pulled over. You knew you missed something badly, and you did it anyways. That's people's anger mostly, right? And it's weird to see the support, but like have we not realized that we're in a weird world yet? Like, welcome to the party, right? To expect something.
But I think what we can do here is we can look at the we understand like we're in a very you could say toxic like environment, right? And so for example, Ghost of Yote got announced. No one knows the story. No one knows the gameplay. It's the same guys who make Ghost of Tsushima, and already it's like, hey, listen, Ghost of Woke, but whatever it is.
Woke. Someone called it Woke.
Woke, yeah. My point is, I'm not saying these things are going to happen or not happen. I'm saying we can critique. No, but I'm saying we can critique these people who are talking like this. We can analyze their reasons, and then we can give our responses and critique them, right? So when we say that, hey, the truth is, if this was a different character, maybe Leonardo, whatever it is, it wouldn't have had this much backlash. Then the problem there is we can look at that and say, okay, well, what's the difference between a black person, samurai, and this potential white person? Why is there less backlash? And then we can then infer and say there might be something going on here that's a bit deeper.
You know why? You know why there's more backlash? Because of the exact discussion we're having now. Because when there's backlash for the white guy, people stick to the bloody topic. When there's backlash for adding a character that shouldn't be there, people just focus on that when it's the white guy. When it's backlash for the black guy, no one wants to focus on the subject at hand. It becomes this whole thing. And that's why people react even more violently. Because one thing we all know from watching movies, reading books, reading history, dude, one thing people do not like to do is be told what to do. Don't do that. It never ends well. But It's 2024, and people are still trying to control other people and tell them what they can do, what they can say, etc., etc.
But wait, question: who's trying to control who in this situation, though?
Who's
You think
trying
about
to control
Ubisoft,
who?
right? They've said, like Ubisoft has said, we're doing this, we're gonna do this, and everyone's saying, oh, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, I don't want you to do that. Like this is cancel culture, right? This is them. These are people, grifters, trying to control an independent company from making creative decisions that they want to make.
Listen,
This is a problem.
grifters
This is the
have
cancel culture that
platforms.
we hate, right?
No, time out real quick. Look, let me just say this because I gotta get going here in like 5 minutes. No, I
Alright.
legit do. I gotta get
Alright.
going here in like 5 minutes, and I want to have enough time for you to respond. So let me just get this out of the way real quick. Like, I think what we're wanting is the same thing that we've kind of always wanted, right? Just to like, if I'm just speaking as a brother, real quick, as I mean, I'm always speaking as that, but I'm just saying, like, just for the brothers listening out there, like, you just want to be seen just like everybody else, right?
Not above,
You
not
do.
below.
Not above, I mean, maybe sometimes a little bit above, sometimes, but not
Oh
for
my
racial
goodness.
reasons, not for racial reasons, right? Not for racial reasons. You want to feel, just like everybody else. You want same opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So when something comes up that wants the same opportunity, and you not only do same opportunity, but you do same opportunity then some, like same opportunity, right? But then you do it untraditional to the point where it can fairly easily disrupt, right? And then not only do you do it that way, but somebody says, hey, I just want to point this out. And you're just like, I don't give a fuck how you feel. I'm doing it like this. I mean, when anybody reacts to you when you're like, hey, you're in control of like a wedding or something like that, and you're set the chairs some way, and somebody just comes in and sets the whole front row a different direction, and you're like, hey, excuse, and they're just like, I like it this way, and this person wasn't even invited, but they
We're
want
going
it
to have
that way.
problems.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like you came in and you're like you came in like a brother come in sometimes, and you asking, why don't you let me in? And then you get in there and start wilding. And then
What do
you're
you
like,
think is going to happen?
and then you're like, yo, they won't let me in. And then you show them and they're like, this is why. They show you why. What I want is a game to come out about a brother, sister, whatever. And there's just nothing that you can just say you're lying about this, or you're fronting about that, or you got sweet baby
Exaggerating.
this. There's always something so easily to point out, and we even see it, but we try to force it to work. And it's like, dude, when are we gonna realize that we just need to just say, yeah, I see what you mean. Maybe next time. Instead of fighting it back, like when people are showing you proof. Like, yo, this literally didn't happen. You're like, well, none of the other stuff really happened either. Well, and then it's like, well, none of the other ones had real protagonists. Like it's a nonstop back and forth conversation like we're having right now. You will never get to the bottom of it. The whole bottom line is, like I said, do you want to die on this hill? Do you think the next game you should use another rando, semi-popular person and just make up some shit? Do you think that's a good trend? Because then fuck reading books. Let's just confuse everybody about everything. And then when you come out here saying, "Oh, I played this game and this is the knowledge I learned off of this," your parent looks at you like you're a fucking idiot because you're like, you just learned everything wrong about this person. They didn't do any of that. So it's just not a good look all around. Let's just stop pretending like this was a good idea. I just don't think it, like, looking back, it wasn't a good idea. But do I still want to play it? Absolutely.
Ty, you think it was a good idea? That's a good one, Ham. Was this a good idea? Making Yasuke the protagonist. Was this a good idea, Ty? We still don't know what the sales are going to be like. Maybe this thing sells like, maybe it sells like gangbusters. Who knows? But was this a good idea?
I mean, we'll see a little bit when the sales come out.
I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about right now.
No, the backlash isn't particularly great, but I think, yeah, we can say, like, in hindsight, they probably would have changed course because, listen, no one is they're seeing, especially with everything going on with Japan. I would argue though that Ubisoft as well, they released Star Wars Outlaws. I have conversations with people about the game, and they attack it for being woke. I asked them what's woke about it, and they say it has a female protagonist.
That's fine.
Ham, to your point, but these are the people who are making these complaints, right? And my only point here isn't that like Ubisoft is right or wrong. I think there's a discussion there. My point is, when I talk to somebody and I say, well, what is your issue? The people who say, hey, listen, I just think, that they shouldn't have done this. It would have been better this way. That's fine. But when you hear people say contradictory statements, it means they're grifters. And then you call them out and you tell them that you're a grifter. That's the point I'm trying to make overall. So when you said it as well, like, hey, listen, this is just what it is. And I think the fact that we can identify and say, if this was a white samurai or whatever it is, no one would have really cared. Or Reset, for example, like Naomi.
I disagree. I did not say that. I did not say no one would have really cared. That's not what I said.
No, cared as much.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think, for example, I think what's her name? Naomi.
And I told you why.
I
told you why.
She's based off. Yeah, she's based off a real life person. I think she's the daughter of a real life person. Do Assassin's Creed fans care that? Yeah, but they don't care. That's what I'm trying to. They don't care. They never cared about these things in this way. They only care because of the reasons I'm trying to tell you. You ask them simple questions about the game, because I was talking to a guy about this. Like I told you, the Japanese guy I'm talking to, I'm like, bro, you never cared about Yasuke's presentation before. Why now? Why didn't you care in Samurai Warriors 5? Why didn't you care in Neo 2? And his response was like, why don't we play those games? I'm like, okay, you don't play those games, but why are you so angry now? And I told him straight up, I was like, the reason why you're angry is because some motherfucker in the West is telling you to be angry. Because you don't actually give a shit. You didn't give a shit about it in the previous games. You didn't care about it when it showed up in the anime. You didn't give a shit about it when it showed up in the manga. But for some reason, all of a sudden now you care. So I think when you call that out, that person can at least evaluate their stance and say, you know what? I'm grifting too much. Let me take a step back. And that's it.
I'm going to do some research on your claim that Naomi is a real character. I
said I think. Calm down now. I said I think, but yeah, I think she is.
Obviously, I can't look at websites like Wikipedia because clearly, if this whole Yasuke thing has taught us anything, right? Is that Wikipedia is not a trusted source. But I will look into the whole.
Yeah, but even that whole Thomas Berkeley thing is Thomas Buckley, whatever his name is. It's silly because I was talking to, like I told you, another Japanese guy about it, and he brought that up, and I said, okay, so whenever Yasuke was used in the anime or in the video games or in whatever, are you telling me all these Japanese developers went to Wikipedia and spoke to Thomas Buckley? He's like, no. I goes, what are we talking about? If I went on Wikipedia right now and then, I edited out like, oh, slavery, actually it was 500 million Africans that went to the United States. And I'm obviously overreaching. Does that mean it didn't happen? I think call me out and say, yo, you overreaching. However, we do know it did happen. Right? So I told him this, and he's like, "Well, okay." I'm like,
and
"Yeah,
this
but
is
I
why.
don't
See,
understand this conversation.
Ty,
I don't understand this
this is
conversation.
why.
Like, this
This
is
is
a
why
grifter,
it
right?"
was a mistake. This is why it was a mistake to make him the protagonist. Because if he was a side character, there wouldn't be enough holes or enough space for people to poke holes into. Because he'd just be another ancillary character. But now when you make him
From
the
a
protagonist,
marketing perspective, I 100% agree with you. Obviously, the way it's kind of panned out. However, my disagreement is when they've done this, just because you're a fool doesn't mean you can get away with it and just start talking shit for no reason. You're still gonna get called out. End of story.
no doubt, Ty. On that we agree.
Yeah, for sure.
But to end today's show, I liked your question about the hill that you want to die on. Ham, well, actually, first, Ty, tell us where we can find you. Tell us where we can find you. What else you're up to? Because that video was top tier. I loved it. I love that video. Even though I disagree with stuff, I love the video. Tell us where people can find you, what you're up to, and then give us your one gaming take that you're willing to die on that hill. And don't be an obvious. Don't pick an obvious one. Ham, go ahead and start thinking about your hill that you would die on.
Okay. You guys can find me at Taye Talks, TayeTalks. In terms of videos upcoming, nothing really. The Yasuke one was just more of a. I think I saw something on YouTube and it pissed me off, and I just said, "Okay, let's get to writing," and that was it basically. Yeah, I took a beat and I just okay, let's write to this, and that was it. But probably I'm playing Starfish Outer Space after this, so my next video could be on that. It could be on how Bethesda has improved or whatever it may be, just depending on Shadow Space. In terms of my gaming take that I'm willing to die on, man, I wish I went second. Nothing really comes to mind. I said something once a while ago. I always say like, nah, I don't really got one of the moments.
Nothing.
I'm willing to die on. Oof. I think I've went back and forth with people before who said things like, shareholders are ruining the industry or whatever. And my take is consumers decide, like we have the ultimate power. I don't know if that's a take to die on. Like I think everyone agrees.
That is a milk toast.
I know, right?
Like you're not dying.
How about this?
You're building a farm and a family on that one.
Assassin's Creed is going to sell really well. It's going to sell great. It's gonna be one of the best selling Assassin's Creed games.
I want to see that.
I'll stake my claim on that one. Yeah, I was wrong with Outlaws though. Ubisoft screwed me over with Outlaws big time, man.
Yeah.
Man. But with Assassin's Creed with Yasuke as the lead, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a good game. So yeah.
I mean, I'm getting it, but I'm not so sure it's gonna sell well. Ham, what's the hill that you're willing to die on, and also what you want to plug before we hop off?
All right. The hill that I'm willing to die on.
Take your time. Big Mad Mo has 2 hills to die on. Well, Mass Effect, come on. That's not really a hill.
Okay. The PS5 is overrated.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Close your cam and go away. Just go away. I don't even want you to plug anything. Just get the fuck out.
All right.
What?
Please.
What a piece. Oh my lord. Okay. Mo says Anthem is the greatest game that never was. All right. There's a hill you will probably die on that one. You'll probably die on that one. Nothing.
I should think the Mass Effect one is big. Big Mad Mo says Mass Effect is the greatest trilogy ever. Yeah.
I don't think that's a hill to die on, dude. I think you're gonna find a lot of people that are gonna be with you on that one.
Agree.
I'm talking about a proper hill to die on. The people are gonna be looking at you like, are you crazy?
Okay, well, here's one.
All right.
I said this before. The Nintendo Switch 2 isn't going to do as well as people think it is. Nintendo is just as susceptible to the market forces than everyone else. Nintendo are not as special as people make them out to be. That doesn't mean they're not great. They are great, but people overhype them way too much.
You're insane. Richie says nothing has come close to Black Flag in the Assassin's Creed franchise. I guess, because I hard disagree with that one. I think the best Assassin's Creed was either 2 or Brotherhood, one of those two. Anyways, BioShock is not that great. I can't get into. All right. Lots of hills here. Dorian Gray says BioShock is better than Mass Effect. Now there's a hill, bro. What? You are out your mind, Dorian Hill. You are insane.
What's your hill?
My hill. All right, let me plug the rest of the stuff for the channel, and then I'll say my hill, and then we'll hop off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us for the 12th episode of Everything Plus Gaming on TSWS Gaming. Thank you for the super chats from Mr. Joanna Dark and Raichi. Thank you to everyone that came through, from the legendary Yobi to Big Mad Mo to Dorian Gray, Mike Johnson, Retro, the Family Man, etc., etc. Thank you so much for coming through, you guys. We really do appreciate you. We have shows every single day of the week and Saturdays. So Mondays we do Everything Plus Gaming, like we just did. Tomorrow it's my Football Manager stream. Now that we have news for FM25, I'm going to scour the internet to see all the possible news that we might have. Maybe look forward to FM25 and then play some Football Manager. And then on Wednesday, it's the Lowdown with me and Ham at 2 p.m. Eastern. So, sorry, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to chop it up about video games. Just video games only. Thursdays, Ham is going to stream his college football career on TSWS. And then on Friday, it's bull sitting with me, Cozy, Ham, Matt, Mental 9R, and a special guest or two to chop it up about video games. Saturday, Kalala will be streaming Ranked Halo. Make sure you come through. She's very good at that game. My hill to die on is that Starfield is without a doubt one of the games of the generation. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.